Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations in Horror, the podcast. I am your host, Kevin Del Powers. I'm also the owner, operator of Something Wicked Entertainment and Events, and I want to welcome you to this glorious Friday the 13th. And what better way for us to delve into this horror-themed holiday for all of us than to delve next into another Friday the 13th film. We've been doing these things for the last couple of years on Friday the 13th when we get around to them, and this year we have two ready and waiting for you. But the first one we're going to get to today is Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which is the one we're on next. And to talk about this sequel, I have the amazing Dave Watkins and John Conkle. I want to thank you both for joining us on the show today.
Yes. Thanks for having us.
We are going to have
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday 13th. And it's beginning of the year. We already have one, so hopefully we'll have at least one more or two throughout the year to delve even more into more Friday 13th films. For everyone who's listening, this is kind of a tradition that we do here whenever we can on the Friday 13th. We like to release more episodes on the franchise until hopefully we have gone through all of them. So you have to look forward to that. So with this film, the final chapter, which really never was the final chapter, I do want to kind of get your kind of insight on how you came about this film, because I know that this is an 80s film of which I don't know if any of us actually saw when it originally came out. So who wants to start first? How about you, Dave?
Dave, yeah, I think I started first last time. So
all right.
Please.
So this one, and I'm pretty sure this is one of the first ones that I saw, and I think this is an interesting one because it does have a recap at the beginning that's surprisingly well done. Incorporating like footage from part 2 of the Campfire Tale, and then they introduce the whole kind of story. But I know when I was aware of the other ones, but this is the first one that has Jason in it and the hockey mask for the whole time. Even though upon watching it this time, I realized that you don't really see him very much until the last act. They kind of went back to the way that the first one was, like trying to avoid showing the killer for some reason. Mm-hmm. But as far as like I think I saw this at a time when I was maybe a little bit older than the character that Corey Feldman plays. He plays Tommy Jarvis in it. So I kind of connected with that character and the fact that they added like who ends up like being like one of the heroes of the film, and he has a bunch of like cool monster masks in his room and all this, and so it's I did and he's also in Gremlins, of course, playing about the same age, playing a similar character. So I kind of connected with that character specifically the first time I saw it. So I think that helped kind of bring me into it. And I did see it probably on channel 36 where it was edited. The cuss words are edited out. The violence is mostly edited out. So
yeah.
What about you, Conkle?
All right. So this is not the first one that I was aware of. All right. Long story or short story? I mean, okay. So, look. Okay. I'm trying to figure out a good place to start. We'll not give you my entire life history. We're just going to start with Friday the 13th. Okay. But the first one I was aware of, all right, it was part 3. All right. Because they showed the commercial, constantly. And I just remember the scene of the biker falling and, almost getting impaled on the, pitchfork. And I was like going like, this looks amazing. And so whenever I was in the other room, so this was like 80, that came out in 82. So I was like 7, so it was just on TV. So if I was in the other room, I heard the Friday the 13th music, I'd run in and watch the trailer. And, guys, this was before, I wasn't allowed to see these movies. All right. So the movie in your head, when you saw those trailers on TV, was just like, this must be like the most terrifying thing ever made, just a Friday the 13th. And just, there was something so mysterious about them, and going like, this would just be like so traumatizing if you could see this movie, you know. And I was and I would whenever a movie trailer would come on TV, it would go like, come on, and then at the end, rated R. I'm going like, when will my time be? You know, and so I remember just all the trailers that they would show on TV, and it was just like, it would be like, no way, you're not going to do it. And then I remember seeing the commercial for Friday the 13th 4 come out, and just very vivid. They kind of recreated something specific from the movie where they show the hockey mask drop into the frame and go, and this is Jason's unlucky day. And I was going like, oh my God, I didn't know who Jason, I just knew Jason was the killer, but I didn't know nothing about it, hadn't seen anything. And it was just like locked in my mind that this would be, you know, I can just replay the trailer that they showed on TV, you know, on my, you know, wooden, you know, console set, you know, in College Park, and just like going like, my God, you know, when will I get to see these movies, you know? And so this was not the first one I saw. Luckily, you know, my mom and stepdad were very strict, but luckily I had Cool Dad on the weekend, and Cool Dad was always like, yeah, you know, forget them, I'm the Cool Dad, so we're gonna watch whatever. I've got cable, you know. And
did you narc him out? No. That's good, man. Yeah. Kids today will narc somebody out, though, man. They'll be like, "Guess what happened? Guess what I saw?" You know,
I've been abused. Yeah. No. These movies, this was like the best thing in the world, and so I would go and would watch it on cable. And yeah, Friday the 13th, I saw them in order, you know. So I saw the first one, and it blew my mind, and then, you know, and it was just like, once I finally started watching these in like maybe 6th grade, you know, I was just like hopelessly hooked. And, you know, and yeah, Dave, they would show them on TV, but, you know, the cussing and all the, you know, they were good, they were fine, but they just weren't, you know. I remember they showed part 3 on TV, you know, like on 46. Right, yeah. Channel 46 used to do like Mad Maniac Week or something, and on every night at 8 o'clock they would show a different, you know, movie, you know. And so they showed Friday the 13th and 3D in 3D. And not in 3D. It's like Crapovision, filmed on Mudovision, you know. And anyway, so finally, you know, I love the series and everything, and you start like working out the lore in your head of like all the interconnections and like what's going on with Jason. And Friday the 13th always just really, really struck a nerve with me for some reason, and I was just like hooked. And in this movie here, part 4, I mean, I say it sometimes, I think I just took it for granted, you know, and I really like this one a lot. It was probably, as they were coming out, it was probably my favorite, but I probably watched it on this VHS tape. This is what I've got here.
Like, you recorded it off the TV, too.
I recorded it off TV, like at my dad's and everything. As soon as he got a VCR, I started recording stuff off the movie channel or something like that, you know. And he didn't pay for the movie channel. It was one of those old turn dial ones, but you could stick a piece of paper behind the dial and it would descramble the picture, you know. And this is like analog, you know, piracy, you know. And so on this tape, and I wore this tape out. This has, you know, filmed in ultra, you know, crappy speed, you know, so everything looks terrible. But I could get 3 movies on it. This tape has Friday the 13th, the final chapter, Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, and Texas Chainsaw 2. And I watched this as soon as I got to my dad's house. I put this in, and I would watch all 3 of them, you know, and just get the week off me, you know, of like, you know.
That's the 3 pretty awesome ones too. I like the third Nightmare on Elm Street, probably the best. It's, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The first one's a better movie, but I think the third one's a lot more fun in that series.
Oh yeah, you know, well, yes, Dave. But yes, we got to stick to because I'm not going to go down the Elm Street.
As far as that tape that you have in your hand there, though, I had lots of tapes like that myself.
Yeah, yes, so did I.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
right.
And it was but this one I do remember speaking of tapes. I remember seeing this VHS cover, and that was probably my introduction to it because I didn't see the trailer like you did, but I saw the cover, and it was like Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and you had the mask on there, and you had the axe chopped to the head of the mask.
For like two different versions of the poster. One had a knife through the eye in the poster, and one doesn't because I don't know. People.
Yeah, maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but let's hear what Kevin's got. Like he's probably saw this in the theater.
No, I did not see this in the theater because me and Conkle are the same age. Right. But the difference was
your mom was bringing you to the theater when you were 6 to see shit like this.
You drop you off at the theater.
But you know what? My mother did rent all 4 of these first 4 movies, so I kind of saw all 4 of these at the exact same time. In the 80s, and my mother was like I've said on the show before, she's not a bad mother. She was one of the greats because she inundated me with horror real early, and I found the joy and entertainment of the greatest decade of horror, which is the 80s. So I grew up in the 80s horror world, and with me and Friday 13th, she liked these movies like more than I did. I didn't become a huge fan of this franchise until part 6 came out. And Alice Cooper, part 6 and song, dude, I was there for part 6. But the first 4, when we were perusing the video stores, my mother picked up all 4 of these. Cause my mother was a completist. So I don't know if she had seen them before then or not. She probably did. But we saw all four of these Friday 13th at the same time. For me, that was like eye opening, but it was the 4th one I liked the most because it had someone more or less my age in that one. So the 4th and 5th one, which I know people really, really hate the 5th one, but the 5th one having, a young African-American kid in that one, and this one having Corey Feldman, a young kid in it. The 4th and 5th one were the films that I gravitated closer to growing up. So I saw those a lot more than I saw the other ones. Plus, part 4 has the coolest kill sequence to fucking the Jason Voorhees, dude. Machete to the head, sliding down, dude. Yeah. By all means, that's one of the greatest fucking kills of a villain ever in a slasher flick. And so part 4 was always my favorite film. And then part 6 came out, and then part 6 became it just because part 6 is entertaining as shit.
Yeah, I like part 6. It's definitely like this one and part 6 and part 1 are definitely really high up, I think.
The thing about the earlier films, they didn't hit a chord with me when I was younger. When I got older, and I've seen all this entire franchise more than I ever should. Every time this was like Halloween for me when growing up. Every Halloween, I would watch Halloween. The entire franchise had been released up to then. When I got in the mood to watch Friday 13th, I'd watch all of them in order.
Yeah. It was pretty easy to do it up until after the 8th one. And I think after the 8th one, it was like really hard. Something about that. One more added, like once it became 9 movies, it's like just no. I can't binge this thing anymore.
Well, I could. They were good, but after Jason Takes Manhattan, I was like, oh, good God. Yeah, Jason Takes Manhattan kind of killed me as my all-time watching. I just kept skipping that one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to get through. I guys, I probably binged the entire series probably 3 times in my life. Just really? I'm going to start at the beginning and go all the way through. And what I love doing, why I love doing it, is because you just see the evolution of filmmaking and the different styles and fads go through, and like how it was a very scrappy independent film, funded by mob money basically. in the first one, and then it just keeps. By the time you get to part 4, it's a Paramount picture. There is no. I was thinking if this had been a movie made today, there would be 27 production companies at the beginning. All right, but it's just this is Paramount Pictures, the people who brought you Godfather. And I remember when these movies were coming out in the 80s, they're going like, how could Paramount sink so low to release this pornography?
Yes.
The great Paramount Pictures has fallen.
And it's pretty awesome though. In this one, they actually do have some substantial nudity, in it. So it's but two and three, Friday 13th Part 2 and 3 are very similar, and those with the binge, it's like those are so close to each other. The only thing, the third one has the 3D in it, but it's really odd how they're so close to each other. This one seems like the way that the script's written is a little different than you're used to.
Well, I love the second one because you had this whole. It actually felt like a camp, like the first one did. There's all these different counselors in the second film, and
they're trying to restart the camp. But only the first one I think has the camp in it. Really, like the real true camp.
It has the until the sixth one when they're at Camp Crystal or Camp Winter Green or whatever the hell they call it.
They actually do have kids in the sixth one.
And they have the kids in that one.
Right, finally.
They do try to like not have kids in them. I guess they're trying to avoid it, except for Corey Feldman in this one. But they're trying to avoid having that camp of kids
for a long time.
If you're out with it, you don't want to see a bunch of kids. You want to see like young pretty people making out and stuff.
Well, that's essentially what this one is. Part 4 is that you have all these people, these kids who are essentially trying to make out with each other, and then the young kid who has to have his eyes shielded because he sees the taboo stuff he's not supposed to. I love this one.
It's really cool. It's really cool that they have like basically you can picture this kid being like, okay, like in the 80s, the Savinis and the Bakers and the Botines, they were like rock stars. So this is kind of like a kid kind of like us who, looked up to these makeup artists and amazing, purveyors and creators of dreams and nightmares. And I might be just completely brainwashed by Fingora magazine by this point and everything, but it was just like watching a kid that was kind of like you. It's kind of like, what if you took like a kid Rick Baker and put him in a Friday the 13th movie, and and you go like, yeah. And you could imagine Rick Baker as a kid probably trying to defeat Jason in the way that this kid does.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly why I love this movie as a kid. Is I was a nerdy kid. I was an artist. I didn't make masks. I wish I was like that when I was a kid. I was an artist as a kid. So I drew and painted and shit like that. So I had that connection with the Corey Feldman Tommy character. Oh, yeah. And in this one, like, it just had something for me growing up. I mean, because I watched them all, like, even though I probably only want to watch the fourth one, I'd still watch all the 3 before that to get to the fourth one, because as a kid, that's how I was. I wouldn't just watch the fourth one. Sure, I'd watch them all because, there was only 4 or 5 of them at that time.
Right.
I'm watching Friday the 13th. I'm watching Friday the 13th. I'm not. It's one story. It's like Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
But they do kind of connect. They connect pretty good up until the end of the fourth one. And then it's like the fifth one is a time jump. But
it's like the Mummy movies. It's like, that was 10 years ago.
And, But it's like, it was only released like a year later.
But if I remember correctly, it's like part 2 is a Friday 13th, but then part 3 is like actually Saturday the 12th, and part 4 is Sunday the 14th and 15th. It's all really like it's the whole thing is like one big long weekend. The 2, 3, and 4.
I think though in this one there is a time jump in between the beginning of the film and then when the kids arrive at the cabin, because it's like either a day or two later. Maybe it's a few. It probably is the weekend, but it does pick up right at the end, right after the end of the third one, where
the Rob character mentions that the coroner and the nurse's body disappeared, and Jason's body disappeared, and that's why he goes out there to search for Jason. There is a time jump. I can't remember if it was 2 days or 2 weeks or how long.
I would think it's been at least a week because I would think if they're going camping like they're doing, it's probably the weekend or something. But at the same time, it is very close to the same time frame, but it's not like the next day.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. All right.
Well, the thing is, I do what I think the remake got wrong, and they couldn't do that these series does, and this is because I've watched like the first 4 so many times together, is that you do see like this elongated progression from when it was the mother, Pamela Voorhees, who kills in the first movie, to Jason without a mask, with a sack, to how Jason gets the mask, to this film where that mask gets integrated into his character and then he dies. For me, these first 4 films were like the great slasher horror story that when the remake did, and they just kind of truncated it all together, you miss a lot of that just because they thought people wanted to just see Jason in a hockey mask killing everybody. These first 4 films were like, oh, when I was a kid, dude, oh man.
But I tell you, as a kid though, I remember talking with the other kids at school about it, and that hockey mask was the thing. And the second one was not what we wanted to see, or the first one, because it was like Jason wasn't in it, and he didn't really get the mask until near the end of the third one. So that was also a problem. That made the movie not as good. But as a kid, I disagree. I disagree.
It's like a superhero. It's like it's such an iconic image. And I was thinking the Friday the 13th after part 4 on all the posters, you had to have the hockey mask.
They couldn't get rid of it.
By part 6, he was a complete rock star. He had Alice Cooper fucking doing videos and shit with him. Like, dude, absolutely. As a kid, I was like, that was like the one movie I wanted to see that year. It was freaking Jason Lives, dude. I was like, oh man, how they gonna do this crap? I gotta see this. And the thing is, with Jason, without that 4th part, I think. From my understanding, from my remembrance, I don't remember all the details anymore because I've forgotten more. It's been a long time since I did any research in the Friday the 13th films. But at the height of its popularity was with the 4th film, when they thought they were going to end it, but then they came back with a 5th film that was not connected with Jason really at all. And then of course they tried to bring it back. But they brought it back in this spectacular way. Like if you're gonna bring someone who's dead back, Jason Lives is like the epitome of greatness when it comes to bringing back a fucking slasher from the dead.
Oh yeah, Jason Lives is awesome. But this does remind me. I think I did see these. I think the very first time I saw the 5th one, it was like a marathon on USA or something. And I remember seeing this one. It did 5th one next. I think even the next one. But one thing here. Now here's something. Budget wise, $2.2 million to make the film. It made $33 million. Wow! And so, at that point, they're like, "We're making another one."
Oh yeah,
we're
in show business. We're not in.
Well, that's like Nightmare on Elm Street was doing the same damn thing. I think they were like releasing one every other year. Because they were just so damn popular.
But they were doing that with this too, because you think the first one's 1980. We're in 1984. They were literally pumping out one a year, and then the next one's 1985. So then they're like, okay, I guess we're going to just keep doing it. But they were intending to end it here. They were tired of the shit. They're like, what else are we going to do with this slasher, dude? And it's like we're done, and then they're like, okay, I guess we made a lot of money. We're making another one, so you know.
And thank God, because I mean, when these kind of things, who cares about artistic integrity? I mean, I want to see Jason.
They made a lot of money because they called it the final chapter, and then everyone's like, we got to see Jason die.
Yeah.
You know,
right. And it doesn't disappoint. I mean, it's like there is that little stinger where you go like, oh, but at the same time you go like, maybe I would have been disappointed had they not done that, and the character just was so iconic. By part 4, it solidifies what a Jason is, and so it, you just wanted more of that. I don't know why. I mean, I got theories why, Jason is so endearing in a way that for me, Freddy isn't, going back, like for me, going back and watching Friday the 13th movies, I think these movies actually really still hold up. And I don't think the Elm Street movies do. All right. In the same way for me.
I mean, I guess that, like, I have a different opinion about the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I think they're, I mean, obviously everyone's gonna have a different opinion, but I think they're whole. I like the dreamscapes and Freddy Krueger.
There's something though. There's something though. I think the simplicity of
that's what I was about to say.
These movies.
Yeah,
but I mean, it makes
these are very simplistic. They're like. Yeah, they're. I would almost say raw, but they're not raw. By the time Paramount's taken over these, the production of these movies, these are not raw, but they're like very simplistic, and they're like catering towards a specific audience. Whereas with the the Nightmare on Elm Street films, they always try to do some type of thematic thing with the film. Each person that came in to create those. Because obviously Freddy Krueger talks through those movies, and Jason is a killing machine like Michael Myers. He doesn't talk, but he uses everything as a fucking tool to kill everybody. I mean, that's what we all loved. We loved seeing Jason come up with some new device out of nowhere to kill everyone, and we loved it.
Yeah, he won't just stick with one thing like the machete or the axe or whatever. But
Michael Myers stuck with that trusty old knife.
Yeah. He'll use other stuff sometimes too. They couldn't just let him stay with a knife. But
but he's mostly that trusty old knife.
It makes it harder from a writing standpoint, not from a viewer standpoint, writing these, because I think the writers felt pigeonholed and they didn't want to just redo the same thing over and over again. And so it's like a lot easier when you're writing a Nightmare on Elm Street, because there's you got these dreams and you can open it up a little bit. With this. It's like, unless you don't care about that, it's rehashing. It's like, it's really hard to get creative with it, which they start trying to do later on to the diminishing returns.
Yeah. Gimmicks. But doing gimmicks. Yeah.
But I mean, really, like if they just kept doing this shit, like people would have kept watching it.
Yeah. Had they not gone to Manhattan, we still may have had kept.
But they had telekinetic, whatever the fuck they call it.
Telekinetic, They had a carry like character in the seventh one, which is cool though. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. They had to
a gimmick
bigger. It really started getting bigger in the sixth one when they bring him back to life. And he's almost like a zombie Jason from then on.
Unstoppable zombie Jason.
Yeah, which I like that, but at the same time, they did go from they're almost treating him like he was like a live person and not like he was a kid that may have drowned in the lake. They may have drowned in the lake, but then didn't drown, and then was living in the woods all this time, and that was maybe what they thought, but we all know that's not it. Maybe he did die and he came back as some kind of like maybe he's always been inhuman to a certain degree, which they
go into when Jason Goes to Hell.
But and then they got Jason Goes to Hell. They rip off The Hidden in that one, the movie The Hidden, which it's fun though. That to me, I don't like it that Jason looks really good in that movie, but he's not on screen very much.
No. Well, and that's sort of the problem. Cunningham just hated Jason. He like, he'll take the check. He's like Carpenter and the Halloween sequels. He'll take the check, but it's like he just couldn't stand Jason. And so when they made part 9, he said like, okay, I'll come back, but we got to get Jason off the screen in like the first 10 minutes because I hate that guy, and everything. I was going to be a real filmmaker, and then Jason or whatever. I don't know what it was. I don't know why he hated his, what.
Well, it's I think it's because of this. Like in the first movie, Jason's dead to begin with. He's in the lake, and he comes out of the lake. But what? Why? Is that a dream? I think it's maybe a dream. That's not what he thinks. The killer's the mom. Jason's always been dead, so it makes no sense to him that Jason's alive. And so he just couldn't wrap his head around that shit. He's like, I made a masterpiece, Friday the 13th, you know, and this was like, this is where it just needed to end. But then in his head, he thought that was it, you know, but I don't know. I mean, I think, it needed Jason though.
It is kind of like an evolution, you know. I mean, it's like in part 2, he's got a shack and he's got a toilet. You're going to like, what? Jason's out there taking a crap. Anyway, he made this whole, you know. I mean, Friday the 13th, 6 Jason doesn't take a crap. I mean, he's just like, what?
The problem is trying to make sense out of it.
Yeah,
like as you know, say like watching it younger, like we watched it, even like not like we never really gave a shit if it made sense or not.
No,
because Jason is in the fucking woods, and that's all that matters. He's out there, and he's gonna. It doesn't matter why he's there, how he got there, or you know, or that you can't kill him. It's just scary that he's there, and he's some kind of force, some kind of evil force that's just in the woods, and it's going to get you if you're camping or having sex or whatever. Right. You know?
Well, it was just the thing of like, if you've ever been just out. I mean, we had woods by our house. Would be out on the woods. We'd just be like, man, it'd be so scary if there was like a psycho killer out here, you know. And that's just kind of like basic. It's kind of scary at night in the woods. And what if there's a maniac? And this is post, you know, all the 70s serial killers coming out as Son of Sam, and just like, you know, all these people, you find out, oh, look, people are the worst monster. I mean, it's just people out there that are just going to kill you, you know, and everything. So it's just kind of like a hold up over that whole 70s serial killer thing. And then it's like, there's something I think universally scary about a guy trying to kill you that's stronger and bigger than you are. Versus like a Freddy, which is like very, I don't know. I'm a lot more scared about a guy breaking into my house and killing me than I am getting attacked by a snake monster and you know.
Well, all right. Well, this, I don't want to get into Freddy too much, but here's why I think Freddy's scary. Okay. Because you can't go to sleep. It's like, right. It's pretty scary if you think about it. If you cannot go to sleep, you're going to die eventually from not having enough sleep. And I've been in situations where I was fighting to stay awake, and what happens? Characters are fighting to stay awake, and then they think that they're still awake. Yeah. They're actually falling asleep, and to me, that's pretty scary that he could get in your dreams, and there's nothing he's going to get you eventually. Now, Jason's going to get you too, right? But it's going to be like he's going to just walk right up to you. If you go out in the woods and try to peek behind a tree or something, he's going to get you, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think there's probably like a terminal hipness to like the Elm Street movies. It's kind of like when you put like all the soundtrack from the 80s on it, it kind of just dates it and puts it in a certain thing. And like there's sort of a too cool for school thing with like the Elm Streets where it is like made for MTV kids, you know? And I think there's something kind of square about the Friday the 13th movies where there really is, until part 9, they really were just kind of like making very classically shot movies. There isn't like a lot of, razzle dazzle in the Friday the 13th movies. So they're kind of like the weird puritanical, grandfather of the...
With these, with the kids, especially in the first 4 Friday the 13th, they do feel very, like not hip. They feel like real kids for the most part.
Yeah, they do.
Where they are more hip, but they are city dwellers in the Nightmare on Elm Street. They do seem to be more like I guess they're suburbs, but it is they're going to school and they're being like kind of like what they eventually did with Scream. But it's just it's a different animal, and they live in different cities. These kids are more country most of the time. They're not like the kids with they don't have the parents that have a lot of money or whatever.
They don't have a waterbed. Yeah, these are more like blue collar kids. I gotta tell you, I would say, especially watching this right after Valentine. Okay, I must say I like that these. And like Cunningham said for the first one, he's like, get me kids who look like they're out of a Pepsi commercial, and so like good looking kids, and everything. And so in this movie here, I was like going like, okay, these are like attractive young people, young adults and everything, but they're not like cybernetic robots like in Valentine, where it's like you can just see how things have changed, you know? How like it's like yeah, if you do somebody from the Friday the 13th movie part 4, you know, they might be like the most attractive person on the block, all right? You know, in your neighborhood. You go like, "Oh, Cindy's so beautiful," you know? But she's not like some weird uh made in a factory person like the people in Valentine are. They just, it's just interesting how everything has just become so extreme over the you know, from 84 to 2000. That's what, 15 16 years. I mean, you know, it's, and I'm going like, what happened? How did everything get so, you know, razor sharp that this is what people in movies look like?
Well, they have kind of pulled back on it some recently. You see it, but you do see different trends. You know, say in some movies might be more specific to the region or wherever they're at. Say in like the Evil Dead Rise film, they have two kids who are gender confused. You know, so which is kind of goes along with what a lot of kids in cities are like. It does seem. But here, I guess they just kind of have to go with the way that people change too, because these kids are. This is being written by somebody who grew up in the, you know, 60s, 70s or whatever, and they're writing it probably similar to how they knew things. By the time it got around to the late 80s, like there were hipper people around.
Well, the thing I will like to comment about these kids here is they all have these distinctively different looks to them when they interact with each other, they all seem like they could be real friends. Whereas my colleague Mr. Conkle has mentioned the Valentine's Day movie Valentine. You'll have to listen to our conversation about that to get.
That's going to be that's the one we're going to win the award for there that we've predetermined.
Those people don't necessarily look like they would be like real friends. All of them. It's like the perfect cheerleading people have become like perfect friends, and it doesn't feel.
It doesn't feel right.
Well, there are people. But there are people like that.
Well, yeah.
I don't. From my memory of being in high school, there are people like that, but they don't usually follow those people in these films, you know, or they didn't back then. They followed like the people that were not the most popular people.
Right.
I was never part of the popular crowd. I just kind of went into all the crowds.
But they were there, though. I mean, I wasn't either, but they were there. I remember kind of what they looked like in my head. They probably looked a lot worse than I'm thinking that they did, you know. But they were like in my head. They looked like the people in Valentine, you know.
I mean, in my head, they might look like the people from Friday the 13th, but I don't think If you saw the people in Valentine walking down the street, you would think a UFO had landed. All right, because these people are like completely plastic to me, you know. But I mean, I'm just being
no, Taco. I'm with you on that one. If I had seen that in my school, like Denise Richards and all that, I was like, whoa. I didn't have that.
It'd be like seeing being like a zebra running down the hall. I'd be like, what the hell?
You talk about the characters. I got some information about them.
Oh, please.
And before I want to talk about the kids, I do want to say this is a movie that's split. Because on the other movies, it's all the teenagers for the most part. This one actually has a family. There's two houses. These family, including the Jarvis family, live in a house, and then it spends half the movie with that, and the other part of the movie with these 6 teenagers. That you assume that one of them does seem to have Final Girl DNA.
Yes,
Sarah character has kind of a Final Girl DNA where she is not like the other ones. The other ones are more exhibitionist sort of, and she is like won't take her clothes off when they go skinny dipping, and so you
kind of the Jamie Lee Curtis character.
Yeah. But you think that might be her. Now there's 6 kids. The first time we see them. Now this is freaking this. I wrote WTF down for this one because it was just like hilarious. But they're driving in the car, the station wagon. You got 2 guys in the front who are, I guess, apparently supposed to be the hotter looking guys, and then you got two girls in the middle, and then you got the 2 kind of nerd guys in the back. One of them's played by Crispin Glover, and it's pretty awesome. But those are kind of the nerdy type of guys, and then the other 4 people, not the nerds, are singing like a kid's song.
Yeah,
and it's like I wrote down the lyrics. It's like country boy, sitting in the grass. Along came a prairie dog, and ran up his leg or something, crawled up his leg,
Cried up his ass.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like they're singing it, it's funny because the girls are into it. The guy, the Doug character, who's kind of trying to get with the Sarah,
right.
He's really into it. But the driver named Paul. He's kind of half-assing it. He's kind of trying to drive. He's trying to drive, but he's kind of at the same time. I don't know if it's the actor thinking, "Man, this is weird that we're singing this kid's song," or he's just trying to act like he's driving and trying to remember the lyrics at the same time. But
it's like, why did I become friends with theater kids?
But the Paul character who's driving is, I guess, the one that the women seem to be drawn to, and he has like some really short blue jean shorts on, that look hilarious. And this is they're so short. I bet when he sits down, his balls probably fall out. I would assume.
Thanks, Dave, for putting that.
Yeah, his characteristic.
It was much more innocent for the kids to wear those in the 80s.
Yeah, right. But then the Doug character, who's passenger in the front seat, doesn't get very much screen time. He gets second billing, I think, maybe because his last name starts with a B or something. But he's like, of all of them, he gets the less amount of screen time, and he never actually. I don't think they ever say his name during the film. But it took me a while. I had the process of elimination to figure out who he was. But
I think
what his name
girls
was.
reference him. I think is how I realized what character he is. Plus, I know that actor from the soap opera he used to play in Young and the Restless. I think.
Oh, okay. So the Peter Barton.
Yeah.
So, and then the two women. You got the one woman, Samantha, or Sam they call her, who is more like free spirited and like takes off her clothes when they go skinny dippings into it. But then later on, kind of becomes really jealous, and because there's like two twins show up like later on. But before we get into the twins, though, it was like the two guys in the back, Crispin Glover's character Jimmy and Ted, which Jimmy apparently recently broke up with some girl that had a BJ Betty was the girl's name. And so, these two guys get the best dialogue in the film. Some of their stuff is friggin' hilarious, and it's funny the way that they are, because he's like, with the Ted character is just kind of taunting him. He at first he's like, Jimmy's trying to have a conversation with him about his girlfriend, and he's kind of down in the dumps about it. And then he starts calling him. He's like, I know why you guys broke up. And he apparently has a computer with him. He acts like he uses it. And he's like, oh, it turns out you're just a dead fuck. You know?
No, that's what I like about this. It is, without beating you over the head with it. It is self-referential to the genre, to slasher movies. You know, it's going like, because Chris Glover goes like, he could actually almost be looking at the camera going like, I'm a dead fuck, you know, and everything. It's almost like it's like such a comment on like, you're a dead fuck, because we're all dead here, you know, and everything.
Yeah.
You know? And then it's so funny that he just goes out and says it. It's almost like a meta line where he just goes like, I'm so horny. You know, it's just like, it's like if you were to have AI write the script, you know, it's just like what, you know, it's like, it's just so over the top. Like, this is who this guy is. The characters, Dave, if I could just interrupt, after seeing Valentine, I was like, we were so spoiled. And this movie was seen as garbage when it came out. This is like garbage to make a big opening weekend, and then it goes away, and who cares? And people who like this have no taste. But when I was watching it tonight, I was going like, the intricacies of the character dynamics between these people and how the attention and affections are brewing and get diverted from this person to this person and then back to this, and then like, you know, how they're, it's almost like they have real relationships that real people have.
That's what I was saying.
You know, the Crispin Glover is like, of course, you know, like the semi-autistic weird guy, you know, and everything. One thing I caught was when the girl comes up and talks to him and finally is interested in him, he's making like a Cheeto, whatchamacallit? He's taking toothpicks and making like a Cheeto sculpture. Yeah. I'm going like, that's so Crispin Glover thing to do.
But get that scene though, you got to remember in that same scene, the Teddy, both of those guys, the Ted character's like that too, because he's over there with they're both autistic or something. He's over there with a match. He's got a match lit for several scenes and just watching them burn. And then Crispin Glover's character sitting beside him on the couch making a Cheeto dinosaur or whatever, you know.
Maybe that's why they're in the back, because they didn't want to talk about trains.
They're the awkward friends. They're the awkward friends. They're like the symphony friends that they bring along with them.
Right, but they're so interesting though, because in that dynamic, you know, there's the guy who thinks he's cool, you know, but is like a total loser, and then there's the guy who thinks he's a total loser, but he's actually got some swag about him, you know, because he's so Crispin Glover, you know. And this guy makes it hit. Their power dynamic is that the guy who thinks he's cool belittles him, and he's so sensitive. He goes like, "I don't, you know," and everything. It's such, but it just seems in a fast forward, you've got to do shorthand because you've only got 20 minutes to like really establish these characters before you start killing them off. They do a really good job of like giving everybody a place and making them, you know, they do pretty good little details, making them feel real.
Yeah. Right. I mean, they do spend more than 20 minutes to get them going, but yeah, I mean, they do feel, you do get that. But they do a lot. There's a lot people get killed in the opening, but then after that, there's a lot of fake out scenes, which actually adds some suspense to it. Cause there's a time when Sarah is left alone on the trail, and then there's a branch that you think it's Jason for a second. I remember seeing that too. As you know, the first time I saw it, I was like, "Holy shit!" You know, she's gonna get killed here. And but they don't kill the six kids for a long time until about 47 minutes in, I think, is when they start killing them. But because you can't do that, because then they become suspicious that one of them's missing. You know,
right?
But they do a good job of keeping them kind of real and not killing them for a while, because they add other people in for them to get killed, like the hitchhiker and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Which I was thinking with the hitchhiker, I was going like this. I think this one's shot in California, but they're still trying to pretend it's New Jersey. You know, so she's hitchhiking to Canada. I was going like, if this was set in California, girl, I mean, you're going to need to get a bus or something to get a little closer to Canada before you start hitchhiking to Canada.
She's a hippie. She's a hippie. She'll make it there eventually.
She's a draft dodger.
Yeah,
she doesn't want to go to Grenada, you know.
That's pretty cool. Like when she gets killed too, because that knife like comes through the back of her throat. It looks pretty legit. Tom Savini did the effects on this one.
Yeah,
and they're amazing. And I'm saying, the effects are so good, and they just show you just enough to give you the point of what's going on, and it's like, and it. Bam, bam, bam. You see it like only probably like, you know, 10, 12, you know, frames on some of that, you know, but it's enough to, and you go, oosh, and then you're wincing, and then it's already into the next scene, and you're, you know, everybody gets to calm down. Everybody gets to call, oh, did you just see that? Oh my gosh. Okay. Now we can reset and get into the movie again.
And then, when they get into that point where several times they do scare stuff, but it actually works.
Yeah.
Another time that they do it is the introduction of the Rob character about 30 minutes in.
Right.
Yeah, because they break down like Corey Feldman's character, Tommy Jarvis, and his sister, who's the sister's the final girl, Trish's sister. And really like him and her are the final like team at the end, instead of just having one to have two. Yeah. But the Rob character is a character that ends up, eventually Tommy becomes that character in the sixth one.
Yeah, he does.
But they tried to make, in the fifth one, they almost tried to make him Jason. That's what they wanted to do. Right. But instead they did what I think is the appropriate thing to do, is make him like this Rob character. He's a guy that you think it might be Jason at first. I mean, and he comes out, helps him fix the car. Even though Tommy, Corey Feldman's character, Tommy, does know what it needs to be done to fix the car, but he doesn't have the tool.
Yeah.
But then Rob has a big knife, which he pulls out a knife, and it's just like, what's going on with this knife? And he fixes the car, you know?
Like little details like that in the movie that are just throwaway. That maybe I never noticed on VHS, talking about just seeing it on Blu-ray. You know, I never noticed, you know, Tommy's reaction to him pulling that, or I never got the significance of him pulling the knife and Tommy going like, what's going on with this guy? And, you know, it's just little details.
Yeah. But you know that if you're watching, we all know it's Jason.
Yeah.
but they never show him again. And they never show him until almost like the first time it shows him really good is like in the shower scene when he kills Doug. But before that, it could have been anybody. But because you see him at the beginning and he's dead on the ground, and then they bring him into the hospital and he's under a cover. But we didn't know he was Jason, but they were trying not to show him because they didn't show him for a really long time in the film. It's all feet and hands and stuff.
Yeah, right. But I think that's what's cool about that is they're not doing it for Scream reasons. They're doing it for, it's not like a whodunit kind of thing. We know it's Jason. It's called like Jason's Unlucky Day, we know it. It is, but it's just like overshowing him. It's too much. It's too much. It's like there's no suspense. I mean, it's kind of like the Alien movies, or like every shot's got the alien sneaking around in the shot, and they're very. Here's what I'm saying. Joseph Zito is a real director, and he actually directs the shit out of this movie. All right, I'm a big fan of the way he put this together. And kept all the characters moving. It is a pretty convincing soap opera, amongst the kids, and pretty intriguing with the power dynamics. But the movie's got this awesome pace to it. It just goes. You feel like it's leading to somewhere, and then once the killings start happening, the pace just starts ramping up and ramping up. And until when the kids are dead and it's just the family and Jason, it's like bam, 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 bam. It just goes, man.
Yeah, they definitely especially like the last 30 minutes is really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Just throw out some more stuff about Joe Zito real quick.
Please.
In 1981, which I haven't seen this one, I'm sure you guys have, The Prowler. He made that one. That's what got him this. After this, he transitioned into making action films because that was kind of the thing after this. He made Missing in Action, which I don't think I've seen that one. I have seen Invasion USA with Chuck Norris. Both of those Chuck Norris films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have seen it?
Yeah, I've actually got a copy of Invasion USA. It's a lot of fun. It's
fantastic.
I have to admit, I am a Chuck Norris fan. I have most of his films back there somewhere.
Yeah. I like Chuck Norris too, man. Chuck Norris is great. But this,
cool.
He made this other one I've never seen called Red Scorpion with Dolph Lundgren in it. But it's interesting. Like, it's also got Emmett Walsh in there, which I think he was a great actor. He's got second build. He's also
have that. They did oh well, I don't know if it's been 4K, but they did a really good Blu-ray that came out a couple years ago. I picked that up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I like a lot of. I mean, I don't watch a lot of action movies, but I do like. There are some that I like, but it's probably worth checking out eventually. But especially since he directed it, and I do like the cast, man. It's that Invasion USA, man. That's
Invasion, and that early. Shot in Atlanta movie, Invasion USA. In fact, the great one of the greatest scenes is the scene where they take rocket launchers to the suburban houses on Christmas Eve.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. And when I think that movie,
absolutely, it's just like so audacious. That's what's so great about the movie. It's so audacious and a Canon picture done right. And, Canon did Life Force and they did Invasion USA. They were going like, we're gonna make a movie, man.
Yeah.
And they did a lot. They did a lot.
But what was cool about that scene where they're shooting all the houses is what that was in the mid 80s in College Park, they expanded the airport. And so they had to get, and my family was part of that exodus where they said like, look, you guys got to go. We're building a runway here. So they emptied out all the neighborhoods and that were going to be under this, and it's under the convention center now. On the south side by the Atlanta airport there's this big convention. Anyway, so they had all these empty houses, and lo and behold, Cannon said like, well, you got this entire empty neighborhood. We just happen to have a lot of TNT.
Yeah. That's a pretty harsh scene, though. It's funny. There's like the kid. It's not funny, but it is kind of funny. But the kids run in the house, and there's kids in the houses when they blow them up. It's right.
Luckily,
nobody, knock on wood, like saw that and tried to copycat it. You know,
No, it's all so ridiculous. It's so over the top.
It's over the top. It's kind of like Red Dawn. It's kind of like Red Dawn. Red Dawn's so over the top, but
I like Red Dawn.
It's fun, but it's so over the top.
Yeah, it's like Russians like parachute in and great cast in that.
They kill the history teacher.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Someone needs to do a more modern day version than even the remake of that. It'd be interesting.
Yeah. I think Zito is a much better director than Steve Miner, or is probably the best director they've had up until this point, on the series. Cunningham did fine on the first one. It's good and slow burn, kind of old fashions, kind of, and the first one's just got such a good look to it because it's low budget and it's shot in New Jersey, and the woods and the feel of everything being old. It's just got a good atmosphere to it, In part two, the same, But Steve Miner, I don't think he's as good a director as Joseph Zito in these early days. I know Steve Miner went on to great.
Yeah, he's much better now. I agree with you. Yeah, I think he's a much better director now than he was back then.
But Zito, man, really from the and part three I really like, but part three is just they moved to Hollywood and it all looks like scrub brush and there's barely a lake and it's like it looks like it looks like a Western set or something like that.
It doesn't look like it's around
It doesn't look like New Jersey at all.
The cinematography in the third one's really interesting though because they had to use those 3D cameras.
Yeah,
right.
They do some kind of they do interesting stuff with the shots, but yeah. But that what else is really cool though is the actor that plays Jason in this one. Mm-hmm. I think he's one of the better ones. He's named Ted White.
He's very imposing and very physical.
Right. I like that he moves like quick. He's the way that he is. You don't get to see him until closer to the end, but once you do see him, just what he does with it is like it's like he's there and he's quick about it. But he actually played the creature from the Black Lagoon in The Revenge of the Creature.
What?
Yeah, he was one of the stunt people did it. There's several people in the underwater stuff, I think, or he may have been on the top. And he also was a stuntman. It was John Wayne stuntman in Hatari.
Interesting. He's kind of got like a John Wayne build.
Yeah.
You probably know that he was an old-fashioned guy. You probably have this story, Dave, where the scene where the girls on the raft, they were out there shooting and it was like freezing.
Yeah, I read something about it, but I didn't want to. Go ahead and say what you know about it. I only read it online, so I didn't actually hear it in an interview or anything.
Yeah, sure. So anyway, supposedly, Zito, has to get his shots. And then you got Tom Savini involved, so he's probably trying to figure out how to rig this up real quick, and and the girl's freezing, and whatchamacallit, the guy playing Jason, was it Ted White? Ted White went up to Zito and said, had words with them, and I think, they just threw a blanket on her, give her some protection. I was like, what are y'all, but he's going like, man, we got 15 shots to do, but it's going to, Zito was, But Ted was a stand-up guy, supposedly,
Well, it's, there is an interview with Tom Savini on the disc I was watching, and he does mention like a conflict with Ted White. That I think he was like his personality was very assertive.
Yeah.
But they worked it out pretty quick. But he said it was something to the extent of they were doing the shot where the guy gets his head twisted around backwards. And then Tom Savini was putting some input into it. And then Ted told him, look, just let me handle this. I'm the stunt man, whatever.
Oh, okay.
And then Tom Savini, he said that Ted told him off and started to walk off. And then said Tom Savini followed him and then told him off some more. And then everyone around the set thought there was about to be a fight, but then he said he respected him for doing that. And then they got along after that. So,
sure. Yeah. Like a bully, yeah.
All right. But he does seem like that was his personality. We've been on sets where shit like this happens, like where this is a tough scene to shoot. You're in friggin' water. It's cold. You're in the water too, not just the actress. And you're wanting to get the shit fucking shot. And then in between every take, they want to get her warm when it's an impossible way to get her warm because she's in the middle of this lake, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, it sucks. I mean, they never should have been shooting this in the middle of the lake in the winter.
Sure.
Ideally, it would have been better in summer, but they probably didn't have a choice, obviously. But yeah, I mean, we've been in those situations where it's just a tough call. We want to make the actresses and the actors as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, especially if you're in that mindset of you go, sometimes it is.
No,
but I mean, most of the time it's the other people on the set too. I'm not talking about something I've directed, but I have seen other directors do this, and especially like say someone like me or someone else around will be like, oh, that person there is cold. They need a blanket.
Yeah.
And you put a blanket on them, and they're losing their mind because they've got makeup on, and the makeup gets fucked up, and then they have to reapply the makeup. You know.
Sure.
And it makes everything take like 30 or 40 minutes longer than it would have otherwise because you have to kind of keep resetting everything.
Yeah, no. Sometimes you don't have time to be nice, you know. no. But it's not even being mean. Everybody here, we've made our own films. You know, you just sort of get into like a little bit of for me, you get into a little bit of a sociopathic state where you're just trying to get the thing shot, and sometimes you have to have other people remind you that these are actually human beings, and
from what you were and from what I read about this, what happened between Ted White and the director. Ted White did eventually have his name removed from this movie. He's uncredited because he didn't want to be credited because he didn't think that Zito was treating the actors right. So he got really upset with him. So I don't know how much worse it got, but you know, I don't know. But I don't know the whole story. Like I did read some stuff about it, but I didn't confirm it. So I don't want to like speculate. I mean, I can speculate, but I don't want to say this is a fact, but that's some speculation based on some stuff I read online that's not confirmed.
Sure. Yeah, I was about to ask you if there was anything on the special features on your 4K or Blu-ray. I don't know what you had.
It's the Scream Factory 4K. There's some special features. I didn't watch the director's commentary, and maybe that's where that information comes from. But of course, I don't think the director's going to narc himself out on that. It would have to be. But there is an interview. It's like there are more interviews than what's on here because there's an interview with Ted White. There's one with the director, the writer. And this is all mixed together. It's not like separate. So obviously they shot longer form interviews, and it's not that long. It's about 10 minutes long. So to me, I think every one of those interviews is probably at least 30 minutes to an hour long. But I don't know where they are. It seems to me that other people have seen them. But there's a documentary called The Crystal Lake. It's some kind of Crystal Lake documentary. Maybe they got that information from some of the because there's a longer version of this Ted White interview that would give more information than what he does on the Scream Factory.
There is a huge book. I have yet to. I own it, and I have Crystal Lake Memories or Memoirs.
Yeah.
That's like huge. That goes through great details of everybody and everything involved in these films. And as we go through these episodes and these movies, I actually want to go through the book, but the book is so massive.
Yeah. This is separated per movie, or they all mixed together?
I read it. It's every movie gets its day in court. Yeah, and it's great, man. It's great. Yeah, if you're a fan.
They did a documentary version of it as well.
Yeah. Right.
It's also massively long, and I have not watched it either. I watched parts of it. I have not seen the whole thing. You just reminded me of that. I hadn't finished it.
Yeah, but that's I guess getting back into the characters, the twins.
Twins.
I really like the twins, and they show up randomly and mysteriously on bikes in the middle of the woods. You know, and they really are twins. At first, I was like, "Are they twins?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're friggin' twins." And right away, they like to take their shirts off, go skinny dipping, and
within 5 minutes of them showing up. Oh, you're at the lake. Oh, it's right here. We're going there now. So they turn their bikes around and go the other way. I always found that funny. They're going one way, but when they meet our 6 characters, they say, "Oh, the lake. We're going that way too."
Yeah.
They turn around.
Now, and the twins cause a lot of drama between characters. Now, it's funny because if you're thinking about the dynamics here, So you got these 6 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the girls already have picked the guys they want to be with.
Right.
There's two kind of nerds or outcasts with them that they're kind of just kind of like they're like the friend, they're in the friend zone. So those two guys are in the friend zone, and these two twins show up. So now you got enough women for everybody.
Yeah.
But
two of us,
yeah,
two of them.
Yeah. But it turns out the twins don't like the single guys.
Yeah.
But they don't like the single guy they're with because the main one, Tina, I think it's Tina's the main one.
Yeah, Tina's the one that shows more.
Tina's with Ted, but Ted's too weird for her ass. So then she tries to hook up with Paul, which angers
Terry's the other one. Oh no, Samantha. Samantha's the one of the original 6.
Samantha, which angers Samantha, creating that whole different dynamic. Yeah. And then when Paul leaves her, she goes to Jimmy. And it's like, wow, Tina, you just going. Right. And her sister's over there doesn't really click with Jimmy, and she just is kind of off on her own until she says, "Okay, so none of these is for me," and then she leaves.
But the twins, they're like the twins of evil, because one of them's like the one twin that's more seductive, and then you got the other one. I guess it's good, but it's especially funny, the Ted thing, because he's sitting there on the couch. He starts calling himself Teddy Bear because he's got a stuffed animal. He's like, Teddy Bear wants a kiss, and he aggressively like kisses her, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna go get a drink.
Yeah, I need a lot more alcohol if I'm gonna be around you tonight.
And from that point on, Ted is like the outcast.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to Ted though in between, and maybe he smoked too much pot or drank too much, but he definitely. I guess he probably from the beginning he was always kind of
grating,
a little off. Calling the guy dead fuck, but he was making the. He was trying to put the other guy down and build himself up. He was trying to make himself. Even like the Jimmy character, Crispin Glover's character at one point, which is hilarious. During all that, he doesn't have to do this, but he walks over to Teddy and he's like, "I really want you to stop calling me a dead fuck," And it's like, but at the same time, the guy's making an ass out of himself. He doesn't need. He doesn't. I mean, apparently the Crispin Glover character felt like he had to stand up for himself, but he really didn't have to, because the guy was making such a fool out of himself. Nobody was like thinking that he was a dead fuck. They're thinking he's a dead fuck.
What an asshole. Yeah.
Oh my god! But it does make for a great character dynamic between all these characters. Like I said, Ted and Jimmy get the best lines in the entire film. But it is kind of odd with Ted, when he finally realizes that he ain't getting one of the twins. He gets infatuated with this silent movie.
I'm just going to get high and watch, 1930s porn, I guess. This is what I'm going like, boy, it's the 80s, man. You had to find an 8mm from 1930.
Well, it's funny in movies like this when they know that most audience members aren't going to know this, but those reels don't last very long, and he's down there watching that shit for forever. Because they're like maybe 8 minutes long or something like that. And,
they're not that long. Even if it was 35mm, it would only be 15-minute reels. I can't remember. They're not that long.
Probably 16 or 8mm, and
you
call those the stag movies. What they're called?
Oh, it does. Yeah.
That's what those older films. They're kind of pornography, really old pornography.
Cuties,
cuties. Oh my god!
Right.
That was a European British thing.
Was it? Yeah. I don't know what they called it in the 1920s when that thing
I don't know if the US really had the nudie cuties. I don't know. That was a European British thing.
I got that term from a Herschel Gordon Lewis documentary. He said, like, before we made Blood Feast, we made these nudie cuties. It's like people at a nudist camp doing volleyball. That kind of thing.
Have you seen his films? He did a lot of those fucking nudie cuties.
I didn't see the ones before Blood Feast. Yeah, so I love Herschel Gordon Lewis, though. He made like 7 billion movies and he never learned anything.
We're slowly
His-
going through those in the show, Conkle, just so you know.
His
Everyone out
first
there.
movie is just as bad as his last movie. He didn't go up or down. It was just
All right.
Anyway,
Yeah. So we get the first teenager kill, which is the fourth kill in the film, is about 41 minutes into the film, and it's when Samantha goes out in the raft that we talked about already.
Right.
Yeah.
When she's out in the raft, it's a pretty cool scene. He comes out of the water and he stabs her. Well, he stabs her from under the raft, but he comes up and grabs her head and then stabs her from under. So it's a pretty cool shot.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And
But
how?
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I was just going to talk about a character thing. You were going to talk about the effect, right?
Right.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about the effect. Now I'll talk about the character.
Well, I mean, just see, it's amazing. You know, sometimes you see these movies on Blu-ray and you notice like the seams and stuff like that. You know, and I was watching this and I have it projected. I was going like, man, that is a really good effect, man. I mean, they only show it for 4 or 5 seconds. You know? So you're going like,
right.
You know, you don't have time to see the seams, but it was like going, man, that really holds up. I think the effect holds up really good, and I like that actress. But her reaction to it is kind of Looney Tunes cartoony. I mean, she's basically cross-eyed, sticking her tongue out and going.
I think
it's a little too much.
Right? Yeah, it is an odd. I agree. It was an odd thing, and I think that probably has to do with the scenario that we talked about when they shot it. That was probably all they could get out of her.
Shit.
You know?
Yeah. It was cold, but that was take 72. I mean, it was just like, all right, I guess that's what we got.
Yeah. You know, but really, I don't know. I mean, to me, that shot, I don't know if they did it this way, but that shot could have been closer to the shore. Or even on the shore.
You would have to. Yeah, you would have to. Yeah.
But what I was going to talk about the characters with Samantha, that we brushed on this a second ago, but she gets upset because one of the twins hooks onto Paul. They call him Paulie. Yeah. And
shamelessly,
and he's kind of drunk, and he's still got his short shorts on and everything. But then she leaves.
Yeah.
And then Paul's like he's hanging out with the twin for a while, but then she gets killed outside. But then he makes a decision, which is a good decision in a way, but it ends up costing him his life because he actually does the right thing. He's like, I can't do this with you, and he goes out to find the other girl that, you know, so it's interesting that he makes that good choice but ends up getting him killed, and it's pretty harsh death for him too.
I think that we're trying to make, I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like a ironic death that, you know, the guy who is controlled by his penis for most of the movie is, you know, basically castrated, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he was necessarily that character. I didn't know if he was controlled by his penis. He seemed like I could see the other guys being like the Teddy or whatever, you know, but he doesn't. He seems like the guy that the girls just like him anyway. He seems like he could give a fuck because he's going to get one of them anyway, you know.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
But
yes, I get what you mean.
But his death is pretty memorable because he goes out there, and two things that are memorable about it. He comes out there, strips down, he's in his shorts still. He goes into the water. Earlier they all got completely nude, and for some reason every time, even like, this is something we didn't mention, I'm backtrack a second, but Samantha goes out there to get into the raft. Before she does that, she takes off all her clothes because I guess that's just what you do when you're out in the woods in the middle of the night. But but he does the same thing.
Joseph Zito with his cigar going like, what are we paying you for? Take off your shirt.
But he does the same thing, except for he leaves his shorts on more than likely because of the special effect that happens.
Sure.
You know, but he goes out, swims to the raft. She's in the raft. It's a really cool sequence. He's he's panicking, goes back, gets to the dock. A spear comes out from the water, goes right up into his friggin' balls, lifts him out of the water. Pretty harsh. Pretty harsh.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's pretty great.
I think that you know, I think that Jason didn't like his shorts, is why he stabbed him through the shorts.
Hey, Jason is very he knows when you've been bad or good.
Right.
So he's gonna kill him regardless anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like when I remember in school we talked about it, and we thought he just killed like people who were having sex or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not. He doesn't follow that
No.
strict guideline. Otherwise, he would have a hard time killing people at all.
Yeah.
He's just going to kill you.
Hitchhiker wasn't having sex, but I killed her. Killed her.
Oh yeah. The Stag film guy. He should have lived. He should have been the final guy.
Yeah.
Because he's.
Yeah. No, obviously that doesn't hold up. But the girl, she had the sign. She was holding the sign, and on the back it said "fuck you." And Jason's like, "Oh no, you can't cuss. You can't say that."
Yeah.
That's a death warrant for you right there.
Yeah,
oh my god. Now you made me forget who's next after Doug gets it, because
so that was Doug. No, that was Paul who gets it. In,
oh yeah, it's Paul. It's Paul. See,
it's the 5th kill in the film. Let's see.
Because I'm trying to remember when.
Yeah, hang on. I got it. The 6th one is Terry, which is the twin.
The twin.
Yeah, the more conservative one.
Yeah,
the one who just won't get with anybody.
Yeah. She gets fed up and with her sister. Her sister actually goes upstairs with Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, we did not even mention the friggin' dance. Who wants to talk about this shit?
Bravo.
Oh, dude.
Bravo.
Yeah, that's right. Jimmy.
Iconic.
Jimmy, that's cool though. It's cool and stupid because Jimmy thinks he's cool, and he puts on this heavy rock music. Yeah, would you like to dance? And she says, to this? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, no way, not tonight, no. It's kind of like saying like you're not going to get with this, but
it's hilarious the way he dances.
That's what I think. That's what puts him out of the running for a little while until Paulie goes outside. But it is such a spastic dance. It's like the weirdest thing, and it's hilarious.
It's also hilarious because who turns it off? Is it Paul that turns it off, or is it Doug?
Yeah, it's one of the other two guys. It's either him or Doug. One of the other two.
Yeah, I forgot which one. But they're like they all look at his dancing, and they're all the looks on everyone's face is just priceless because he thinks he's doing the best dancing in the world, and everyone's looking at him like he's completely crazy. And then, of course the music changes.
It's slow dancing.
Paul.
Oh, it is so funny.
Yeah,
it's so funny when they start slow dancing. You see like Crispin Glover like counting.
He's counting.
The box step. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's so funny. Little details like that, I just thought were great.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Crispin Glover looks so young in this. It's crazy how young he looks. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's crazy how the first time I saw it, I didn't even think that he looked young.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you're a kid, you think all these people are like grown. And everything like these are adults, and now you see it now, as middle-aged men, you go like, man, these are just clueless kids, it's really kind of a shame.
It's a shame. It's a shame because the only thing I know Crispin Glover for when I was a kid was this movie and Back to the Future.
Sure.
Because I saw these first 4 movies a billion times, and I've seen Back to the Future, the trilogy, a billion times.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you if he was in anything else during the 80s except for those 2 fucking franchises.
Well, I really love. I do think he's probably a damaged human being. I mean, I think you kind of go like, man, Crispin Glover is probably really hard to hang around. But I love him in movies. And,
I kind of feel like he kind of might be acting like this Jimmy character a little bit.
Yeah.
I
wasn't surprised.
But every role he kind of does. It's like another movie he was in the 80s was like River's Edge.
And, great movie.
And he's supposed to play kind of like a tough, blue collar kid in that, who's got psychological problems, but he still comes off as Crispin Glover.
It's like that one scene like near the end where he's like so high that he like is just at the red light and it's sitting there like red and he's not going. But it's a great. He actually gets top billing in that film. Keanu Reeves is really the protagonist, but it's that's a pretty good movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it though.
I have yet to see that. It's always been on my list, but I've never seen it.
Dennis Hopper's in it too. It's
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
You find like a dead body. These teens find a dead body by the lake. I think it's somebody that they know, and they don't tell anybody about it. Kind of like Stand By Me sort
I
of
was
thing.
about to say, this sounds like a little like Stand By Me.
Yeah, except for they find the body themselves and then they don't tell anybody, and then they kind of like have psychological stuff throughout the film. One of the guys actually killed her. That's right. Like Daniel Roebuck's character kills the girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was saying,
Yeah.
I just remember a lot of jean jackets in that movie. A lot of jean jackets.
Yeah. It's a very
gratuitous.
Yeah. I almost feel like the Crispin Glover's casting in that movie probably was like his audition. It probably was supposed to be different than but then they like he does a great job though in that. He's very maybe it is kind of Crispin Glovery, but it's but
his music. Have you listened to his albums? They're like, what the hell am I listening to? It's kind of like Yoko Ono. It's like very conceptual. He's kind of like a conceptual guy. I think everything he does in his life is just conceptual. He doesn't just eat breakfast. He like creates a concept of breakfast, and then he's like, I don't know. In 2002, I was working in a coffee shop when Willard came out. And I remember just going like, oh my God, Willard is going to be the most amazing movie ever made. Because I saw that trailer and I was going like, Crispin Glover and Killer Rats. This is going to be bad. And like all the people I was working with, they're going like, there's just something wrong with you, man.
I love doing Willard. I thought he was great, man.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of funny that you thought it was going to be the best movie ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool, but I wasn't looking forward to it as that much. But I like it. It's
I was ready to drop out of society.
Yeah.
Watch that movie on a loop.
This thing.
Yeah.
I like Crispin Glover a lot. He's just really good in this one, even though he was really young. But I like it's cool that they. It's cool that they actually have two actors in this one. Like the first movie has Kevin Bacon in it, but most of the other ones don't have anybody who became famous. Like there's Corey Feldman and Crispin Glover who have gone on to have really strong careers.
Right.
But back to kill number 6. Terry the twin is killed in a shadow. She goes out, get on her bike. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a cool. It starts to rain, which gives a lot more atmosphere to what's going on in the movie. It starts raining outside, and she's out there in a raincoat, and Jason comes up. Mm-hmm. It's all camera work here, and you see the shadow of him kill her. And that's a pretty simple kill there. It's effective,
but it's like so. You gotta admit, you're watching it and going like, man, these movies were so derided at the time, but that is a really cool, suspenseful, well-conceived scene,
But think about this, though. This is about 50 minutes in. Really, about around 47 minutes in, we get the first kill of the teenagers. And there's 13 kills in the whole movie, not including Jason. And this is the 6th kill. So we have, like... the rest of the movie is kill, pretty much.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The pacing, but it's like you're. I wasn't annoyed by that. I don't feel like the beginning is boring because there is a lot of interpersonal dynamics going on, and they pepper in some kills.
We've had 3. Yeah, we've had 3 kills before it gets to the teenagers' kills. So you have the 2 people in the hospital killed at the beginning, and then the hitchhiker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And can we just talk about the hospital people real quick?
Yeah.
Because
great
Axel,
sequence. The coroner,
the coroner, with this generic, eating resting on the, the cliche thing, But that character, he is kind of like the Animal House. I don't know, what is now seen as probably like, nowadays,
you say it's cliched. I remember first seeing that the first time I saw it, it wasn't cliched to me. It is now, but the first time I saw it, I was like, "Holy moly, that guy's in the morgue with a friggin' sandwich." He puts it on top of the dead body, and it is a little over the top. And then he's like hitting. Well, the thing is, you say it's like Animal House, but he's hitting on this nurse, but they have had sexual relations in the past. It's not the first time, so it's not like It probably started out some other way. It probably didn't start out with him being the way that he is. It was probably her and him both consenting, and now she's just like kind of like maybe even boyfriend girlfriend, which she's not really necessarily wanting to have sex all the time, but he's wanting it.
He's Axel, man.
Yeah. He's gonna.
Yeah, see,
But she does kind of want it too, though. When it comes down to it, she's trying to act like she don't.
Right.
Yeah.
They've got a weird thing going on.
They got a weird thing going on, but every time I see that actor in this movie, I always refer to his more famous role, which is in the Police Academy movies as Fackler. So I don't know if you recall him. Yeah, he's in like all the Police Academy films because he's Fackler in there.
Who's he playing it?
Fackler.
Which character is he?
That's the character who does all the dumb stuff and he doesn't always recognize what's going on around him. So he always gets into these weird situations in each one of the films. So for me, going from this film to that film is that whole series is like really funny into my ass because like this one he's trying to be like the cool I get the girl type of thing I'm having sex, whereas in the Police Academy films it's the character that you know he would never be able to get sex.
Yeah.
Well, I really liked his performance in this because it reminds me very of 1980s Chevy Chase kind of, National Lampoons type of a performance. I mean, it's just something you don't see anymore.
You don't see,
When I was watching this movie, though, I was going like, it did have like the low budget sin of where are all the people? Like in this hospital where there's just been like 7 dead people. I mean, there's just been like a terrible massacre, and like the hospital is empty. There's no other doctors. They're just like, we'll wait till the morning. We're all dying.
Yeah. But that opening sequence though is really impressive.
It is.
Yeah, with all the cop cars. That is huge. They blew the budget on that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's a statement. I mean, it like is like a statement of that we're actually making a movie here. We got, I mean, and it's just like I think it's like a creeping camera going through the crime scene. And it's
actually they talk about that in the behind the scenes, and they said they were on a crane with a Steadicam. They came down off the crane. The Steadicam operator stepped off the crane at the end of it and just walked through the crime scene. It's a cool shot.
Yeah, I mean, there was some ambition. That's what I'm saying. This movie. They actually took some time to figure out the character dynamics and making that power struggle go around. They actually took the time. I think they were trying to, hey, this might be the last one. Let's try. Let's try this time.
No, I agree with you. I think that mentality is always there when you're trying to say, okay, we're ending the franchise with this one.
Let's bring back Tom Savini, Let's do something special on this one,
Well, that's why the makeup effects and everything looks so great in this film. They brought Tom Savini back.
Well, they did bring Tom. If you look at the credits, there's also Alec Gillis and there's also Kevin Yeager on the credits.
Really?
So yeah.
Okay. So I know all of those names.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a couple of other ones, but immediately I saw those 2 guys. I was going like, if you watch the Dawn of the Dead, the Day of the Dead Blu-ray, you can sort of see some seams there. But when you got Yeager and Willis on your team, man, the effects in this really hold up.
Yeah.
So as far as the Axel and then the nurse, Axel I believe is killed first, right?
Axel's killed first.
Yeah, it's
a great death. Yeah. And had what I like about the quickness of it, is it doesn't linger on it like a Terrifier movie would, where that Axel's death or her getting gutted would be in a 10-minute sequence of just the camera staying and lingering and pushing your face in.
They really get into that in the Terrifier films. But
truly,
I mean, there's something to be said about that too. But it's more from it's a wider audience is going to like this type of death, which is both effective. And then the nurse gets with the scalpel. With him, he's the one that gets the head twisted around Axel, right?
Yeah,
that's
the saw.
Yeah, that's right. The saw from the hacksaw that's they use for cutting up cadavers. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's a pretty cool opening with the hospital, and it's but the back to where we were at before with the 7th kill. Now this one is a kill that you don't see, and this is like on screen, and you never see the dead body. When this is a pretty pretty strong kill though, because the mom
Mother.
of Tommy Jarvis this was a jarring, I think, even seeing it when I was younger, because you don't expect the mom to get it here. You don't see it. If she does die, but you find out later in, I think, 7 or something that she died. But they apparently, there's a deleted scene that has a different ending. It's like a dream sequence ending. You see that on the Scream Factory?
I saw it on. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't seen it.
I think I saw it on YouTube though, where they're trying to do like a part 1 recreation.
Yeah, they did it, and I think in several of the films. It may have been 3, but part 1 and 3. But it doesn't work. It's not very good. But it's kind of cool that you see the mom again. They actually see the mom dead. She's in a bathtub, and then she lifts her up, and then the mom opens her eyes and says some line, and then Jason's standing behind her and kills her. You know.
Confusing.
Yeah. It's better they didn't use it, but it would have been nice to see the mom either dead or not dead. But she died, and it's pretty apparent that she died here.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like Chris Christie's death in the first one. You know, he's just like, oh, hey, but it's just like you don't
that's
see.
Exactly how I saw that. That's exactly. I saw that exactly like his death in the first film.
Yeah. It's very similar. Yeah.
But her character, I mean, what I got out of this time is they at least said she's kind of a health nut. You know, she likes to jog all the time, and there's the line in the kitchen where they're going like, "Oh, this health crap," and I want something. I'm in the mood for some pizza or something, And then I was noticing in movies, there's never like a Minute Maid orange juice sitting there. They've always, for whatever reason, they buy the juice and then they empty it into a big pitcher. They do that with milk too.
Yeah, it's because they don't. Yeah, I guess they do that so they don't show the label. Like you can drink the whole damn orange juice in one sitting or something. It's.
I mean, if I went into somebody's house and they put I was going to some cereal and they put a pitcher of milk on there, I was going like, "What you put in this milk, dude? I mean, what are you trying to do to me, man?"
They just milked it, man. They went out to the cow and milked it.
See, that's that. What do you call it? That powdered milk that they make.
Right.
Powdered milk.
That's right. It was orange juice from concentrate. That's where I've seen it. Okay. Well, it's totally fine. I take it back.
The next scene, the next kill is probably the most. It's a great kill, but it's unfortunate that Crispin Glover's character gets killed next at an hour into it.
Wouldn't it be great had he been the final?
Yeah. He gets a good kill. It's actually really, really strong kill, but it is a bummer because that character was very entertaining.
Definitely.
Well, it's also funny because I keep forgetting that he actually said he's asking Ted, "Where's the corkscrew? Where's the corkscrew?" And all of a sudden, it's in. What was that?
No. It's great. Finish your thought. I just have something to say about it.
Okay. And then it gets plunged right into his hand, and he's looking at it. He's like, ah! And then all of a sudden, right in his hand.
It's a cool shot. Both of those special effects shots, the hand with the corkscrew, and then the meat cleaver to the face.
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was I never got until I watched it this time that they set up the corkscrew gag, because when they're hanging out in the kitchen. The guys Ted's got the corkscrew, or the other the mean friend has got the corkscrew.
Yeah.
He's messed with it. So they took 5 seconds to sort of.
That's great. Some,
foreshadowing there.
I didn't notice that too until I rewatched it too. I picked up on that too.
It's so hilarious the way that he's asking for this corkscrew. It's like he's being like so ridiculous about it. He's like yelling it, and Ted's over there like sitting on the couch high.
Yeah.
And like watching the Stag film still, and it's like he just corkscrew, and it's so obnoxious though.
It's so obnoxious. Yeah, it's funny. He just he's with this girl, but he's got to run downstairs and brag to his friend. Guess what? I'm not a dead fuck. I'm awesome. Let's have some wine together. I mean, it's it's so funny. He's just more impressed he's more concerned about impressing his weird friend,
I think there's a combination of two things. I think he really thought he was a dead fuck.
Yeah.
And after he has sex with Tina, the other twin, he's like real shy or asking her about it. Was I a dead fuck or whatever? And she's like, "No, you were great. It was great. Let's do it again." She's like, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom or whatever," and leaves. And he goes downstairs to brag. I think he it was a very triumphant moment for him.
Yeah, he's got a confidence.
He had to tell his
Yeah.
friend that he wasn't a dead fuck.
That's right.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean,
Then
I
he's
think
then he is a dead fuck. 5
yeah,
seconds later.
yeah. I think he really took that to heart, and it's been like really depressing him the whole movie.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Only though at that point, the funny thing is that like the Ted character is not caring that much, but he because you think at that point the way he's saying it that Ted would be like mad that he won, but Ted's like cool, man.
Well, Ted
That's
is
great.
Going beyond.
Yeah.
Ted,
He's
did
high
that-
because
Ted
he
is
couldn't
on
get
another
the other
planet.
Tina,
Right.
or he couldn't get the other girl, Trish, or whatever the heck the other girl was.
But the Tina girl was like the one he tried to kiss first. He like asked her if he wanted to kiss her. He's like, "You want to kiss?"
Yeah.
He tried to make some moves on the other twin, and that's
Yeah,
when
yeah.
she left. Remember?
But yeah, actually asked her to kiss too. It's like he's just wanted to go from like like 1 to 10 like immediately without anything. It's
No foreplay.
Yeah.
I think the actor from this one of his previous movies was called The Last American Virgin.
Yeah.
Which is kind of appropriate.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But what for this, because it's kind of a pet peeve of me in horror movies, is that somebody is in the kitchen getting murdered, and then there's like somebody in the next room and they don't hear it anything. And usually sometimes in some horror movies the people are screaming and throwing glass and stuff like that, and the people 2 rooms over are just going like that what's going on? Did y'all hear it? And they don't even acknowledge it.
I guess that's why they had him screaming about the corkscrew, because he's screaming so loud and he still didn't hear him. Right. So he's not going to hear him die either.
But when he gets it, he's not. He doesn't vocally scream, So I was kind of okay with it, And there was a lot of that where they go like gasp, or something like that, but they don't go like unless. We got to get to him here in the line. We'll wait for him when Jason Hunter dies. Hilarious. All right, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, they really set it up so that he couldn't. That it was obvious that he wasn't going to be able to hear him. They really set it up with this a combination of Ted being high, whatever that film projector's making a lot of noise. He can't hear it, and so it's so obnoxious that he's yelling about the corkscrew thing. But that's why I'm cracking up because he's doing it. But that's why they did that, to establish that no one can hear him. Probably because of the film projector. Because Tina is also upstairs in the bathroom and doesn't hear it.
Yeah,
but
I know there's a lot of people in that house.
Yeah, but there's 2 other people. There's actually Tina, Sarah, Doug. Sarah and Doug are upstairs, and this is like Sarah decides that she wants to have sex with Doug out of nowhere,
right?
And they go upstairs, and so Tina gets killed next, and Tina's kill is actually a lot worse with the noise than like Sarah and Doug probably would have heard this. And this is like
heard that.
This was almost like a ripoff from Suspiria to way this goes down. It's actually maybe, I don't know if it's done better than Suspiria, but some parts of it are. But she starts looking out the window, notices her sister's bike is outside the window still, meaning that her sister didn't leave. And then she goes to another window and is looking outside the window, and then suddenly Jason busts through the window, grabs her, and throws her off the house onto the top of the car, screws the car up and kills her.
Yeah, silent though.
Well, it's really cool, but the logic between these kills really screws my brain, because I believe that they were fudging with the editing to go from Crispin Glover's character dying to Tina dying back inside.
Then you got to run back down.
Yeah,
I mean, coming busted through a window and grabbing her, that's like a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And for him to grab her, be able to pull her out the window and not fall off himself, throws her. But it's a lot though. Yeah. It's cool, but it's a lot, and it definitely takes it from like it takes it from somewhat realistic type of kills to this guy's like a super machine or something.
Yeah. What I got out of that scene was she's looking out the window, and then Jason busts through and then grabs some dude in a wig and throws this dude in a wig out the window. Seeing it on Blu-ray, I'm going like, that is not that person. All right. And then she lands and smashes. I mean, you're thinking she's just wearing like a a shirt, but it's like in the Blu-ray you can totally see those are just like skin colored tights they're wearing, and everything. And it was kind of funny. I mean, it was fine, but I'm going like, yeah, that was kind of a bad wig on that stunt person going out the window, But,
I wasn't, apparently I wasn't looking at it too good,
sure.
But yeah, I believe you though. I need to look at that better.
When I do a movie with you guys, I'm going to comment on all the wigs, all right? And that's just, you guys got to know. Right on. That's the first thing I look for.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
Wigs.
Oh, Jesus.
It's something like about when I'm watching these movies, I don't focus in on that. I'm fortunate that I don't, because I notice other stuff. It's something about it. I think my brain just accepts it.
Mm-hmm.
If I saw it, if I went back and looked at it right now, I would see it because now I've been alerted to it.
Sure. Sure.
Well,
it's like, go ahead.
Well, no, I was about to say, it's kind of like, this is the only part of the movie for me where I think that they screwed up on the editing, because it would make much more sense for Ted to die right after Jimmy dies, and then he kills her outside, but that's not the way that they presented it. And so I just think that they just wanted to change locations in between in editing, and they didn't think anyone was going to care when someone else was going to die, or when, the logic between everything is. And that always has bothered me about this film. Because I always
it would have been a simple, it makes more sense for him to go from the kitchen into the living room and then go upstairs.
Yeah.
It just makes more logistical sense. And he takes a chance of Ted getting away by going upstairs and dealing with somebody upstairs next, and then having to come back downstairs.
Well, no, he doesn't pull her out. He pulls her from the outside of the house. He's got to go outside, climb up to get to her, and then go back down.
He's just got to wait and hope she comes by the window.
Yes. Yeah. See, that's why that always has screwed with me, even when I was a kid. I always felt that was weird, but didn't know why for the longest time until I got older, and then I realized, oh shit, it's a weird editing thing that I've always kind of unconsciously thought was weird, but didn't know why it was weird. I know it's weird now because I logically think that they just edited it the wrong way for some reason I'm not aware of, is how I attribute that now. It doesn't take away the joy I have of the movie at all. I still fucking love the movie. It's just something that's odd to me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's something. Yeah, for sure. But then the next one is Ted. Ted gets killed next with a projector, which is a cool scene.
Great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it reminds me, we did Demons recently, where the horror comes through the screen, and I was going like, this is kind of like this could have been in the last one, the 3D one, where it's like, Jason stabs through a movie screen and kills somebody, and there's like a fake head, but it's so well done, and it's so quick, it just is pure effect, and everything, and then him sliding down and slicing through the screen with the blood.
I like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Why didn't Valentine have any kills like that? What's going on?
Well, I think that there were a few of them in Valentine that were pretty good. But that was
he's still harping over Valentine.
I'm sorry. After watching a real slasher movie from the 80s and then comparing it to the WB Shockers cycle, I was just going like, oh my gosh,
I think what you just said there, calling it a WB shocker, that's really accurate. We never mentioned that yesterday, but that's what it is.
Yeah. Totally.
So we're at an hour and 5 minutes right now with into the kills. I mean, here we are at number 11, which is the shower scene with Doug, which is pretty gruesome. I just point out the time at this point because I'm saying there's a short period of time between the first person getting killed.
Yeah.
And this, like the 11th kill, all of a sudden, It's just
this great escalation. I like how he dies because he's like he's kind of like of them all. He's kind of like the most pretty boy. You know, and everything. He's got the face. He looks like he's got movie star face. He's got bone structure. And so, you know, I mean, Christopher Glover basically has a skull on the outside of his face, but this guy, you know, he's got the cheek and the jaw line and everything. So it's really kind of a cool, you know, that they mess his face up, you know.
Oh,
right.
Jesus.
This is really like when we see Jason, a close up of him for the first time here, and it's like a really good close up of him. You see the mask still has the axe mark in it.
Yeah.
And so, by the way, the opening credits have that. We didn't mention it, but the opening credit have the mask comes up. This is pretty cool opening.
They knew what they had. They said like, oh, nailed it with the hockey mask.
Yeah. But the mask actually looks different. It has like the 3 marks on it that look different than the mask in the opening credits because the marks are not quite the same, but it's a continuity thing.
Yeah, and my theory on the mask is why it's so effective is it is like a stand-in for a skull mask. You know, it's a stand-in of a skull, in which it makes him kind of like the Grim Reaper. You know.
Okay, yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah. Then Sarah's killed next, the 12th victim in this one. I'm trying. Yeah, I look at him. So she comes back to the bathroom. He just gets killed with the axe.
Yeah.
He throws it. Yeah, she tries to run out the door, and he throws it through the door, and it goes into her.
Strong guy, but it's cool because
I'm about to say because Jason has to get back outside again.
What the geography is driving you crazy, Kevin? It's like, wait a minute.
This is
it's like the family circle.
It is.
Well, he went up here and around here, and
dude. Because I've seen the movie so many times. This is where it starts getting weird for me because Jason could just materialize inside the house, outside the house, almost instantaneously.
Yeah,
that's what because like I said, I've seen this movie so many times, and you start nitpicking it even if you're young because you've seen it so many times.
I think he's like I was saying earlier. I think he is a supernatural force to be. You know, and I think if you think of it in that way, which I always have. You don't think about the logistics as much. It's more obvious later on that he's a supernatural force. They actually play into it. They'll do things like he's walking after somebody and suddenly catch them, you know, out of nowhere. So,
yeah. I always when I was a kid, I always said like Jason knows the shortcuts. He knows those woods forwards and backwards, and he knows if that guy's running that way, if he makes a left and cuts him off, and he'll get him. Because he's like, you know, Indiana Jones. He just knows all of the land.
What happens is when no one's looking, Jason is running.
Yeah, like behind the mask.
Yeah.
Exactly like that. Although he could be what they did brilliantly in probably one of the most recent slasher movie, which is In a Violent Nature, where we see him lumbering the entire time.
Right.
And, you know, that could be Jason, you know.
Is that a recommendation? Is that movie good or bad?
Yes.
Good?
It is worth watching. Yeah.
I want to see it.
I got a copy of it. I haven't watched it yet.
Yes, it's definitely worth watching. The kills are fucking amazing in that movie.
Great. I hear it's kind of like it is kind of like a Friday the 13th, you know.
Yeah, but you follow Jason. It would be the version if they followed Jason.
Gotcha.
Just think about that. So you're walking a lot.
So excited. I'm excited.
So what happens next? And I want to go back before we get into what exactly happens next.
What about Sarah? Sarah, we got to talk about her death.
Sarah?
Sorry, the nice girl.
She's the one that gets the axe to the chest. Right. You want to talk about it more?
Okay. Yeah, just real quick. You know, I mean, I think it's. I mean, I don't know if they were doing. You know, she gets her. You know, she was the more sensitive one, and she finally, you know, loses her virginity. You know, she just say like, "This is the weekend I'm going to lose my virginity."
Yeah.
You know, to
and
Pretty
she's
Boy.
in love with Doug.
And she gets it right in the heart. You know? So I thought that was pretty good. If you want to nitpick, you can totally see that the door panel is completely a breakaway insert that they, you know, it's got a different paint job. You know, this is probably they had to do it a couple of times. You know, I don't know.
But cool. I like it that you pointed that out. It does remind me that earlier I mentioned that Sarah is kind of almost looks like she could be the final girl.
Mm-hmm.
but as it gets further into it, it becomes pretty obvious that she's not, especially after she has sex with Doug. But then they take her out, and then we get to find out who the real final girl is after this, who is Trish Jarvis.
Mm-hmm.
But which at this point she and Tommy return to their house and find their mom not there, and then they go to look for Rob. But what I think we haven't talked about is Rob very much.
Yeah,
and so he appears, like we talked about earlier, 30 minutes into it, helps them, goes back to the Jarvis house, and then Tommy shows them all his mask. It's kind of as an adult. As a kid, it was fine, but as an adult,
yes.
they get back into the house.
Yeah.
The sister should have gone up with him, but he's like, hey, Rob, come up to my room. I want to show you something. And the sister's like, okay, cool, yeah, whatever.
And the mom's like, well, okay.
Yeah, it's all good. We just met this guy.
Were a much more innocent time.
I was going like, things have changed. Dude.
Yeah,
things have changed.
Well, where people didn't always lock their front or back doors. The 80s were like, yeah, it was such a different time, dude. If this was made today, that would be, who is this guy? Do you know his full? I want to see some license and registration before you
get the feeling like these kids have never seen people. It's like, oh, here's somebody. It's like almost like they were part of a cult out there or something like that. Because like, oh, a person from the outside. Here, look at this stuff, and she's like instantly in love with Hunter Boy. And everything. She's like, oh, if you ever want to come over, you need to get a shower or something. Why don't you come over? It's like, we're so lonely out here.
Yeah.
We're homeschool kids.
But then, but his character's also very suspicious acting because he's there with a purpose. He asks them some odd questions, and he doesn't tell them why he's asking the questions.
Yeah.
And it's very suspicious acting, even though she's very attracted to him, is probably the reason why she overlooks this stuff. And the reason that he's asking these questions is not nefarious, because he is hunting Jason because Jason killed his sister or something like that. So, but
no, he's seen other he's seen the other Friday the 13th movies. Go like, okay, there's kids here, okay, and they're horny kids. All right, okay, I'm gonna be in the woods over here in my tent. That's okay, right?
Right. Does he actually tell her? Because does he tell her that he's going to pitch a tent over there?
I think he does.
He must, because she finds his tent later, like
really fast.
But there's a cool sequence after Samantha gets killed in the raft, and she screams, and he hears it. He's in the tent, and he comes out of the tent, and he has the machete, and he's looking around. And then he walks in the woods, and he turns around, and it looks like it's probably Jason comes to his tent and tears up his gun or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a question of like where Jason is maybe more aware in this movie than he is in later movies. I mean,
it's kind of weird because why would he damage the gun and just not kill him, for one?
Right.
And then, of course, and later in the film, he damages the telephone box in the house. After
he would have done that like a long time ago,
Yeah.
How does Jason know anything? I mean, how aware is Jason?
But him tearing that gun up, though, it's like, that was kind of weird. And then
it's the one gun. I mean, because the rest of the movie, the guy's just got a knife or something.
He's got a machete.
He should have brought a pistol. I'm like, why did this guy bring one gun? And they're in the woods. Does that family have a gun? Does anybody got a gun?
Jason's afraid of a gun, apparently. But
in this day and age, he would have an AK-47. But back then, they just had a shotgun.
Yeah, you would have a deer rifle or something in the house. I mean, if you're living out in the woods, I would think.
Yes,
but, I don't know. It's
Well, another thing that's important about this, that for script purposes, is that Rob has some newspaper articles about Jason, and Tommy Jarvis sees the newspaper article and they talk about it, which makes Tommy aware of the Jason legend and seeing Jason as a kid for the climax of the film. But
he gets caught up on the Jason lore there. Or makes some really amazing leaps and deductions.
And it's something that it didn't seem like a leap back in the day, but it does now.
Absolutely correct. When I was a kid, this did not seem like a leap of faith. But when I rewatched it, I was like, oh yeah, that was a quick leap right there for that
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
It's almost like you see 24 where Jack Bauer like shaved his beard in like 5 minutes. You see that because he was like the beginning of the season, in one of the seasons, he has a big ass beard. He's got like the Chinese like had him like in a torture chamber for a year, and then it's done per minute. And in between commercial breaks, he shaved his beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not cut or anything. He's going so fast, but he doesn't.
Yeah. It looks great too.
He's so good.
It's great.
Well, the commercial break was like 5 minutes.
I always wanted them to cut back to from the commercial break, and you hear the toilet flush, and you run out. You know.
Yeah.
What is this guy?
Yeah. So back to where we're at presently when Rob. So basically, she leaves Tommy at the house.
Yes.
Not knowing. Yeah, because she doesn't know that Jason's killing people yet. I don't think.
No,
she goes to find Rob. And that's when something real weird happens here too. She's in his tent, and he comes over to the tent with the machete, and for some reason rips his own tent up with the machete. You know, yeah. And it's luckily like he doesn't kill her, but she's like, "Holy shit!"
Well, he thinks Jason's just gonna be chilling in his tent. So.
Yeah.
He's a pretty intense guy.
But then, of course, this is where she finds out everything about Jason, and about him, and his reason for being out there and all that. That's all the exposition stuff coming up here.
Yeah,
it's a cool thing because somebody if you there's this guy out and where he's at and he's been killing people for a while, he's like, I'm gonna take a gun and go kill him. And I did a little search and everything, and so his sister was the girl from part 2 who gets impaled with her boyfriend. So that's the character that he's related to. It's like some random. It wasn't like Amy Steele or the girl.
It's actually kind of cool that they did it like that. That it's like just one of the random ones.
Yeah, a little deep cut there.
Yeah.
So save him any,
so to speak.
Yeah. So then she gets worried about her brother, and they go back and they look, and they come back to the house. And then they both leave him in the house again to go next door. Now this is my second WTF moment of the film.
Okay.
I only have 2. The other one was that weird song they were singing in the car. But
yeah, sure. Good, clean fun. Good, clean.
But this one is the Gordon the dog.
Yeah. I know. Stop the movie. We got stunt dog spectacular here happening.
They start hearing the dog whining, and it's like, the dog just kills himself, just jumps out the window. He's just like, fuck it, I'm done.
Dude,
this
movie has gratuitous jumping through windows.
It does. I never thought that Gordon died. I never thought about that, but we don't see him again after that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. But why would it? I don't know, can you guys make sense of this?
I can't, because you now have me thinking that Gordon died. I never thought about that. I just thought that the dog jumped out to escape. I didn't think about the dog committing suicide by jumping through a window, dude.
Jason was up there. He had the dog cornered. He's like, okay, now I'm going to get the dog, and to avenge my mother's death, I got to kill the dogs too now, I'm on a roll, baby. And or the dog saw the dead bodies and is like, I can't take it, and jumps out the window. It's a golden retriever. They're sensitive,
Yeah.
I don't know. 2 things that could have happened there.
Yeah. I don't know, but they were looking for the dog for a while before this. But
they're all looking for the dog.
It's very odd. It's a very odd scene that the dog just jumps out the window, and there's you don't see Jason.
It doesn't build up or
you do hear. They did add a bunch of sound effects in there of the dog whining for a good maybe 3 or 4 minutes, constantly. And they're not even looking for the dog. I think they just added in post to kind of connect that later on. Because it doesn't. I don't know. I think something happened there differently than it was in the script.
We got to go back and read the novelization before to find out what truly happened in that Gordon scene.
I think the next scene is what you wanted to talk about earlier when Rob gets killed in the basement.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so number one, you're an adult now. You go like, okay, so Jason's just hiding down there. I mean, he's just all right. I've killed all these people. I'm just gonna chill in the basement and wait for them to come. It's always the thing of like, what is the killer doing? What is his game plan? Okay, he's decompressing a little bit in the basement. But hey, Rob comes down, Mr. Intense, and it's good, the hand comes up through the steps and pulls him down. But I just love Rob announcing that he's being killed as he's being killed. It's just so funny. It's like unintentionally funny. It's like, it's like, he's killing me. He's killing me. Oh, he's stabbing me. Oh, this is terrible. Oh my gosh, you guys. He's like running a color commentary while he's being killed. I just killed me. Oh, I'm dying. All this work. I packed my bags. I got the rifle. I came out here. I pitched a tent. I was ready. I was intense. And then Jason just got me. He's like almost dying of embarrassment.
Yeah,
he can't believe he's being killed in this scene. He's just like, oh my god. It's like Van Helsing finally getting to Castle Dracula in 5 seconds. It's like, oh geez, all that prep.
That was it's based on a real incident. That dialogue, by the way, I don't know if you read that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But so the director, there's a girl who was killed like that where nobody was listening,
right.
and she said it, but the director wanted to use it. I think he used it for an effective person, like an unexpected. That you didn't think this guy was. You thought he was going to be the hero. You didn't expect him to get killed here.
Yeah.
I love that when the hero dies. I like that stuff when they build up the tough guy and then they kill him off. I like that stuff. Yeah.
But I will say that the Trish character does turn out to be pretty good fighting Jason. It's a pretty impressive fight once they start fighting.
Dude, let me tell you, man, I really appreciated the final girl, her performance in this movie, especially. I don't know if we're here at that point in the movie yet when she's cornered upstairs. I guess this is what happened to Gordon, but she's got the window or she's got the serial killer and she just has to get on that adrenaline train to make herself jump out that way. Just like it's like, it's just like, what the fuck am I going to do? I mean, it just really, it's like, it's just a real human moment and it's really good. And at this point, the movie is just going. And it's just like a runaway train at this point, and that just really works. Her performance really works for me in this.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
it's
I agree too.
Very unexpected, really. Once it gets into this part of the film, I mean, she's fine earlier. It's not like, but you're not expecting this type of physicality from her. In the last 15 minutes of the film.
Yeah, and it's got another layer to it because it is family. It's a brother and sister. It's basically a brother and a sister trying to, protect each other. So it's got a little bit different dynamic than like, boyfriend, girlfriend who just met each other, and they're risking their lives to save each other by the end of the, 15 minutes movie after they've had a 5-minute conversation. They're completely connected for life now. So these people actually have, a history and, they're homeschool kids. So, that's really the only people they know. So, I mean, they're going to fight, tooth and nail to protect one another,
With that when she's trapped in the other house briefly, because she becomes trapped in by the dead bodies. She opens the door and the twins out on the porch, front porch. That would have been the way to go.
Yeah.
But then she goes to open the other door, and Crispin Glover's character's nailed up there,
like crucified.
Crucified, and she chooses to break the window out and go out the window. Really, the front door would have been the way to go.
Yeah, step over the girl.
Yeah, step over the girl. But
you could step over.
But going back through the house would have been, it would have been dangerous to go back through the house to the front door. So at that point, the window was probably safer. And trying to get through Crispin Glover's body might have been a challenge because of the way he was nailed up. Jason has a hard time knocking him down later on.
Yeah. Such a good scene. Such a good effect, him pulling him down. Yeah.
It was funny, kind of hilarious. Jason's kind of aggravated. He's like, damn it. He's like, my damn, like nailing him up didn't work,
we had to smash another window, I guess,
bigger budget. They like smashing windows in this one.
Man, we got so much sugar glass for this movie, baby.
Yeah. I mean, it's an odd choice, though. I don't know. I mean, like, to me, with the killer chasing me, even with a dead body hanging on the doorway, I would have gone.
I would have had motivation.
I think I would have gone like down by his feet,
and
gone under that way. Because if you try to push him, it might have taken a lot longer, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, you have motivation, and everything. But that's always been like one of my favorite parts of the Friday the 13th movie is when the gallery of dead people just start falling out of those closets. It's always my favorite. I just love it. I love it.
It is cool.
That would be also in general slasher movies when they do that too. It's always cool to see the slasher person bring the bodies back and display them in a way that keep the final person or final girl, final guy trapped in his little fun house of bodies.
Yeah. It's the best.
Yes,
it's the best. And I guess Halloween did it,
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Set the template.
So they go back to the Jarvis house, which the Jarvis house is a cabin pretty much. It looks like a cabin. And it's got like they're inside that front room and they throw the body of Rob through the window. And that's pretty cool when that happens.
Oh yeah, what has he got in his ear? I've never.
I don't know what he killed Rob with actually. Whatever he killed him with, because it was some kind of knife or
wooden handle.
I was never sure of that either.
Yeah, because it's not the little. I mean, that's a terrible way.
Corkscrew.
Oh, it's the corkscrew again. Finally.
I think I think before that happens, that window shot happens with Tommy. Like Tommy's standing by the window and Jason busts through the window, tries to grab Tommy. And then he throws Rob's. But when those two things happen, I think he throws Rob's body through first, and then tries to grab Tommy through another window.
Right, and then that starts the litany of Jason getting some damage. Because he gets the hammer to the trap there.
Right, yeah. She like takes the hammer and just like beats the shit out of him with it, and eventually
smack.
Yeah, and the claw in, she hits him in the neck with a claw into the hammer, which makes him retreat.
Right.
That would
he goes like Jesus. He's like I just got a machete through that shoulder, man. I'm just still healing.
But then they go into the bedroom, like Trish and Tommy go into the bedroom, and he breaks through the door there, and that's when she picks up a TV and busts it over his head.
Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah,
Image 2.
yeah.
That would kill most people in other movies. Yeah. You get a TV knocked on your head, you're dead.
It's debatable whether it happened in Scream or not at the end. We'll see what happens in the next Scream. It'd be really awesome if Matthew Lillard's character was still alive. I guess we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Come back as another ghost, just like the other character.
Yeah, he's in it, but he probably won't be alive. But he was actually supposed to be in one of the other ones, like still alive, but then they had to cut it out because of some school shooting, because he was like kind of masterminding it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's okay because they bring him back. What's her face? Courtney Cox too.
No, she's in every one of them. No.
Yeah, but she died in the last one.
Oh, did she? I hadn't finished that last one. But...
Yeah, they killed her in the last. They killed Dewey in the first reboot. They killed her in the last one.
Yeah. From what I read, it was like still open that she might have survived it, but I mean, she's in it. And she looks to be predominantly in it. I assume she's alive.
Well, because they got rid of all the other cats. This is completely separate stories. So, but
right. So then at this point, it becomes like a cat and mouse between Trish and Jason. That's when Tommy goes into the bathroom and pulls the Jack Bauer shave of his head.
Yes.
It's like, I hope I read this article right. I hope this is a Hail Mary pass to kill this guy. All right.
Yeah.
I don't have a hunting rifle, so I'm going to dress up. Theater kids, once again, save the day.
Yeah. But it's the very first time we meet Tommy. His mother is telling him he's going down to get a shave, a cut.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know if I ever noticed that before, but I definitely noticed this last time watching it. I was like, oh shit, this is funny. Those little tidbits that we've been spewing out
picking
this
up
conversations where they're set up beforehand. Like, they do a really good job with that.
It's a foreshadow. Foreshadow.
Really good foreshadowing in this one.
Yeah.
But then the fight continues. Like Trish has the machete and she's chopping Jason with it, but she's about to get it, and that's when Tommy comes in with his head shaved and he pretends like he's Jason as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Corey Feldman's really good in this.
He is,
especially as a kid actor. He's very convincing. But this is a bold choice, like you're saying. It's very lucky that it worked, kind of.
Yeah, but there is precedence.
Yeah, and I was about to say it calls back to the was it the second movie?
The second one.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah. Well, so it's kind of like it's kind of been established in the second one that Jason can be easily distracted.
And he gets distracted, and Jason takes the hat to.
Like you're his mom, or you act like you're him as a kid.
Yeah. It crosses wires. He's just going like, oh, yeah, wait a minute. And so like, you can just put on like that. Amy Steele goes like, okay, I'm going to put on the sweater and pretend. But so when she had gotten the lore rundown from, they had been talking lore at the bar and everything. So, these people are, they're making, they kind of give it a jump. They try to lead some credence of how they make these jumps. But it does Jason in for a second time, man. You just dangle something in front of Jason. He just
Can you imagine how confused Jason was? Like to see himself standing on the stairs as a kid. It's like,
right. You're like, I'm like, I know. Okay. So I saw my mother about a year ago, and now that's me. That's me, man. Dude. It's like he wants to go to this young kid and tell him about it's like, hey, there's going to be times in your life you just don't know what to do, okay? And, it's going to be okay. You're going to fight through it, okay? It's like when they say, it's like when they say,
don't go in the lake. Don't swim in the lake,
man. Yeah. Exactly, man, and you'll have good times about it. It's like if you could go back and tell your child self,
exactly. That's probably what Jason's thinking about doing. But then Trish ruins the whole thing by hitting him in the face with the machete and knocking his mask off. It's kind of just like it's like hitting a damn hornet's nest when you do that shit.
Pretty much. And you just see that great shot of the mask fall.
Shot of his face.
Great.
Yeah, the makeup looks really good too.
Yeah, dude.
It still holds up extremely well. I think it
absolutely.
Yeah.
No kidding. And that was always, part of the Friday the 13th thing is like eventually he'll take off the mask and you get to see what they came up with the makeup, at the end. And this is probably the high water mark,
Yeah. Whereas Jason Takes Manhattan is the low water mark.
So then we talked about it a pretty good bit earlier. This Jason gets killed at this point. Like Tommy gets the machete, hits him in the head.
Bam.
Yeah. And if you count it, Jason's death, it would be the 14th death of the movie. Not if you count the dog, it will be the 15th. But I'm not sure if we count the dog or not. I'm pretty sure.
The dog.
Yeah,
I think the dog landed. He's fine.
Okay, I think the dog will survive. I'm not gonna go with Dave's assessment and ruin my enjoyment of the movie by saying the dog died.
I think they were like tired of like shooting with a dog, so they're like, we just got to get this dog out of here.
Animals and kids, we've already got a kid. Why did we bring this dog? Write the dog out.
So then the last few minutes of the film try to set Tommy up as a replacement for Jason.
Mm-hmm.
He says, die, losing his mind. And then the next day at the hospital, Trish is in the hospital. They bring him in. He hugs her, and he has some crazy ass face, which is pretty convincing. Mm-hmm. But unlike, say, something like Halloween 4, he doesn't kill his sister. Right. Well, she doesn't kill her sister because she kills her stepmom in that one. Mm-hmm. But that would have been the end to really establish him as a replacement of Jason. But he does have a light. Yeah. It's not really light. It's pretty blatant that that's what they want to do, but they don't actually have him kill anybody. So
they switched gears the last minute. What I got out of it this time was that the ending of this one is very similar to the ending of the first one. It looks like the same kind of hospital set. You got the cop standing next to her with the doctor standing next to her, and she's going like, "What happened?" And in the first one, she has that vision of Jason jumping out of the lake, and in this one, it's actually like this kind of mirror of Jason standing in the doorway, and it's not played for a scare, but it is kind of an interesting mirror.
Yeah, but like they did, even like we talked about earlier, they did shoot a scene that was very similar to the end of the first one. That was a dream sequence, but they luckily didn't use it.
Yeah,
It would have it would have probably killed the film a little bit.
Yeah, I like the way this is subtly reminiscing of the first. It was like now Jason is back, but it's like her brother. He's now completely messed up. It's because of all those horror movies.
Yeah.
He's definitely screwed up in the next movie. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it leads you to the next one, which makes you think that. I like the Tommy Jarvis character, and it makes you think that he possibly could be the killer in the next one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I briefly played the Friday the 13th game. Did you ever play that?
Mm-mm.
I never did.
This is weird though. It was like it really stressed me out. But it was like I think they don't have it anymore. I think they lost the rights to it, but it was one that you couldn't play unless you were connected online through the Switch, and you would actually play a character who was trying to escape Jason and not get killed.
Mm-hmm.
And other people online were playing too, and they could come and interact or whatever. And it was stressed me out because you don't know when the hell Jason's going to pop up, and all of a sudden he does, and you're screwed. And sometimes when you get on there, you could play Jason, but you don't get to pick who you are.
Oh.
It assigns you something. But then one time I did something by mistake, and I was Tommy Jarvis out of nowhere,
Cool.
and he had like he actually looked a lot like Alexander Skarsgård, who I think would be a really good Tommy Jarvis. But he looked like him, and then it was like you were badass when you were Tommy Jarvis. All of a sudden, you had a lot of weapons. But I only played it for like a day or two, and I'm like, man, this is freaking stressing me out. I'm selling it.
I mean, my blood pressure's going too high.
Yeah. It was weird because it was the weirdest thing because it really felt like you were out there being stalked because it was like if you played Animal Crossing, it's like you're playing some kind of like role playing game that's happening in real time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Tommy Jarvis, unfortunately, they got it best in part 6, but, I don't know why they, departed from that, to have like a Van Helsing character in the series could have really helped with the dynamic,
But he was set up to be a Jason replacement.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. That was their first idea. It's not like I think a Van Helsing character, what they eventually did in part 6 was really awesome.
Yeah.
What were the years in between part 5 and part 6? I thought they were more than a year or two. Like they did part 5, but then we're trying to figure out how to proceed with part 6.
It's a big dip.
And 86.
But there's a big difference in quality, not dip. Actually, I think the part 6 looks so much better than 5.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at Tom McLaughlin's other work and how he approaches things is so different than the way Denny Steinman's movies play out. If you ever watched his other movie with Linda Blair, I think it's called Savage Streets or something. It's kind of got that real grindhouse kind of feel to it. And, he's got different things on his mind than Tom McLaughlin. McLaughlin's got atmosphere and character on his mind.
there's some humor in that one too. And part 6 has actually got some humor.
Yeah. It's like a mainstream, almost crossover movie.
Yeah, it definitely injects humor and it kind of changes the tone a lot. But it does add a character, like it makes this Tommy Jarvis character like a protagonist, whether that or like Van Helsing, like whether that makes Jason less scary or not. Because sometimes they did that with Freddy Krueger, where they would have somebody almost become like that Van Helsing character, and then they would get killed pretty early in the next film.
Oh,
yeah. Which I always hated that, but it's like they didn't want. Well, it's weird that they didn't want somebody to be able to fight Freddy in that. Where it'd say Halloween, they had a Van Helsing character, Dr. Loomis.
Yeah. But I think it adds to it that kind of dynamic adds to it. But I guess you always know Van Helsing's going to defeat Dracula. But it's like
right. Yeah,
but,
I think that's what they didn't want that predictability that you had a character that you knew wasn't going to die.
Right.
But they lost the rights to the Tommy Jarvis character anyway. They couldn't. Going forward, I think after 6, they couldn't use them anymore because of some rights issues.
Which I always thought was weird, but with this franchise has been marred, and
the writer of this one created the character.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
And by the way, there was only
it was such a mess.
A year within the release of the 5th one and the 6th one. So I don't know. I would love to know why they took the direction they did. between part 5 and part 6. So,
yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much different it is too.
Yeah.
Even this one and the next one after this, and it's
Mhm.
crazy to think that they're shooting these so quick that they're able to turn them out like one a year and write it
Yeah.
and turn it out and shoot the whole thing and get it out there, you know.
And they have and they feel different, which
Yeah.
is they did the same thing with the Saw movies, and I can't tell the Saw movies one from another.
No, definitely not. They all seem like you're watching the same thing. And
yeah.
Not paying close enough attention. I could tell the difference between all of them.
You're awesome, man. You're awesome. And for me, it feels like on the next episode of Saw, and it's just like
yeah. I didn't watch all the Saw movies, but I've seen the first one, the second one, and what was supposed to be the final one when Carrie Elwes was back in there. And between the second one and that one, I felt that though, that it was like the same shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I borrowed them all or something. I watched them, kind of did a binge on them, and I saw the first 3 in the theater, and then I was done. Yeah, but then I binged the later ones, and I was just going like, wow, it's the same 3 scenes, like interchangeable,
Yeah.
And I did see Jigsaw at the theater. My relationship with Saw movies is they're going like, that's it, I'm done with these Saw movies. These movies are ripping. I always get like about 3 minutes of good movie out of a 90-minute. I'm not doing it again. And then there'll be some booby trap in the trailer. I go like, oh man, see that. And then I'm all
I think it's kind of cool though. They were able to put those out like they did though, because it was became like a Halloween tradition, which I dig that. I'm just not really into the type of violence that are in the Saw films. It's not really. I have a hard time with it sometimes.
Every generation there is a franchise that does this, and some of them are successful where they put almost one out every year, and you wonder how they're able to do that when their films are so different. The Child's Play 2 and 3 did the same thing. Yeah. They came out one each year. Friday the 13th probably did it the longest, then Saw, and then the Paranormal Activity took over that trend once the Saw had lost that trend.
Yeah. But you could see it with Paranormal Activity more than any of them. But even Saw. But I guess it helped with the Friday the 13th that most of them had a different crew. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the same crew. It's like even a different writer. Maybe they just had like people just writing these things, but it's almost like I guess they're not that hard to write, but they make some interesting choices in between,
You're not that hard to write.
You would think it's not that hard to write, but they screw it up so often that it's obviously very hard.
I think it's what the studio thinks audiences want from a Friday 13th film or a Nightmare on Elm Street film or a Saw sequel or a Paranormal Activity film, and that's why audiences either go with it or they don't. Most audiences, they want the same thing. Studios usually want the same thing over and over again. But then you get audience members who say, no, I don't want the same thing. I just watched that 3 movies ago. It's the exact same thing I just already saw. I want to see something new.
Yeah. Then they don't really want to see it.
Which one do you do? Sometimes, Child's Play did pretty much the same thing. In general terms, everyone thinks the Saw things were the same thing, one after another. They just came up with new traps. Paranormal Activity, they just kept going. I'm surprised it lasted as long as that fucking did. That but
I mean, I guess when I say they're not that hard to write, I mean that this is especially the first 4 where they just we're in a camp, we're having people come in here. Jason's going to kill them one at a time. That's what we want is the kills.
The kills.
So if you think about it, like just the formula of Saw's a little different because they did have to get kind of complicated with it, and they had all
stories are interconnected. That's what made the Saw
hard. It's complicated. But this is think about it. Okay, first act, Jason's gonna maybe kill a couple of randos, Ralph or whatever, and then we're gonna introduce these teenagers. and the teenager's going to go and be in the cabin, and then we're going to like act like they're gonna maybe have some drama, soap opera drama going on between them, and then maybe have a few jump scares. About 40 minutes in, we're going to start killing them one at a time until the last one's still alive, and then she fights Jason.
Right.
You know. So,
but it's so interesting though, because basically, you look at part 3, which is that premise, and you got part 4, which is that premise. And I think part 3 is a much worse movie, actually. You know, and it's just it's and like bring it up again, Valentine. Some of these movies, I mean, Valentine is basically that story too, you know, and it's just, but some movies feel like they're meandering, trying to find the movie, like it's sort of all obligatory what's going on, and it doesn't have any forward propulsion through the movie, a narrative string that you're following. It's just kind of like things happen, and then there's some kills, and what I find, and I used to like part 3, but after watching it recently, I was going like, this just doesn't have any drive to it. And what I liked about this one tonight was it felt like, even when I was going through the soap opera stuff, it was getting to something, you know?
When I call it soap opera stuff, I actually like soap opera stuff to a certain degree. I think I like it to a certain degree, unless it gets ridiculous, unless it gets too unbelievable.
Let's not forget why we're here.
Come on. Who didn't like part 7, The New Blood? Come on.
Well, I was like, that was the first one I saw in the theater. And I kind of saw that one as like, I felt it was kind of like part 4, and then it had like this weird supernatural tacked on ending to it.
I don't mind part 7. That's it's got Terry Kaiser in it, played Bernie. Bernie.
Terry Kaiser and was it Lars Park Lincoln? I mean, I don't even dislike it that she has telekinesis and can fight him. It's kind of cool, but it does seem like the bad thing about that one is they censored it really bad, and they had a lot of the effects got cut out of it, and it kind of seems like you're watching it on TV, like with it edited, and sometimes you don't even know what the hell happened, you know. You assume they got killed, but but you don't know. It might be like Gordon the dog. You don't know.
Well, when you have John Carl Buechler like directing, and when you see that scene in the trailer where he's cranking up the rotor saw, I mean, it's a disappointment that just lingers with you forever. That it just wasn't like a splatter-thon. You know?
They shot. I mean, you could see the deleted. You seen the deleted footage from that?
I think I saw like some VHS that was like so degraded I couldn't.
It's bad. The quality, they don't have, or they haven't been able to find the original footage, so they can't really edit it in without it just looking like total ass.
So there is a work print of that one out there that has that in it, because I have a bootleg work print copy.
Nice.
Well,
nice. Well, they just need to. I'm against AI and most things, but they should just clean up those shots with AI and put out a special edition. You know, I will buy it, man.
I mean, I think AI and that type of it is a double-edged sword, obviously, but in that type of situation, it almost seems like it might be okay. I don't know.
It's like a restoration, you know. I mean,
it's better restoration,
It's like it's just
of something that was never completed. Maybe one day it will be completed like the Nightbreed Cabal cut, which took fucking decades for them to integrate all that lost footage and clean it up and make it look as good as they could for that Cabal cut of that. I would love to see a part 7 like that. I think it would be amazing to see all of the stuff that was cut out. I know my work print copy was like a VHS dupe of a work print copy, so you could see that it was not good quality. Right. But bootlegs of these type of things roam around the festival circuits and like that for decades, dude. I think I have a work print copy of I have one of part 5 and part 7 and another one. I can't remember my work print for the other one.
Yeah, I have a hard time like actually watching a work print copy. But I did find that there's a clip on YouTube where they actually have just the footage from the cuts that were cut. So you don't have to watch like the whole movie without, you can just see what they cut. And some of them, it's actually good that they cut some of the stuff. Some of the stuff isn't good, but some of it's good though. And Terry Kaiser getting it with that saw, that weed whacker thing is awesome.
I just like his character in that movie.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, he's such an asshole.
Yeah.
Movies shot in 1987, 1988. That is like some real ugly times, man. I mean, all the styles and the fashions. 1987 was not a good time for
the late 80s were not a good time for horror. And if you wanted to be R-rated horror, it definitely wasn't. The censors were cutting the shit out of those movies, dude.
I'm just saying the way things looked, like the decor in people's houses and stuff. What really catches it? Have y'all seen? It's not called Lady Frankenstein. It's the new Frankenstein written by Diablo Cody.
That is Lisa Frankenstein.
Lisa Frankenstein.
Yeah. I saw part of it.
Yeah, that movie captures how ugly 1987 was. It like brought me back. I was like, going, oh my god, I'm so glad all that's gone.
It's funny the way when they try to capture the 80s in some movies, they try to make it look like it's all colorful and shit. When it's really wasn't.
Well, that's because people who were making stuff that pays homage to the 80s didn't live in the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
It's just what they perceive it to have been. Like, I remember seeing this shit at the theater in the 80s.
Yeah.
But the Duffer Brothers, who did Stranger Things, didn't live in the 80s. They were like referencing stuff that they've heard about and they've seen from other product, which is like what we glorified.
Glorified or stuff from commercials or like they can look at like the way people dressed. Because people did dress colorful, but it didn't mean like the friggin' house was colorful. It's like the house did look like the 70s,
I did like, okay, so talking about I like this 1984 house that they were in, it reminded me of, my house growing up with like the furniture. It seemed real, versus like, I hate to do it. Valentine with all the mauve walls and that in the mansion. I was just going like, oh my gosh, I remember everybody like painting like my wall back here. This was like painted in the like early 2000s. I haven't changed it yet. It's like I hate, it's just like, oh my gosh, just everybody went crazy or something. I mean, I don't know. There's just some ugly decades. That's all I'm saying. I like
that mansion though looked pretty cool, and they had it decorated for Valentine's Day.
It just bothered. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, they spent all the money in the universe to throw a party for Valentine's Day, but I was just looking at the walls, going like, oh my god.
You know what?
It's weird what bugs you.
Uncle, I think you're just envious that you haven't been able to do your own Valentine's Day party. Maybe you should do one this year, buddy.
I'm sorry, what? You were breaking up a little bit. What's it again?
No, I said I think you're just envious of that Valentine's Day party, and you just need to put together your own Valentine's Day party for this year, dude.
No. Yeah, no. I'm
good. Like 3 weeks,
yeah.
man. You can do it.
Good. No. I was like, I wasn't invited.
Yeah. if he comes, it might turn out just like the fucking kid at the dance at the beginning.
Right.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Exactly.
So, this being said, guys, is there anything else that we need to touch upon in this Friday 13th, the final chapter, that we have missed or glossed over?
No, I'm looking through here and this guy. Nope. I checked my notes. Man, you guys killed it. Yeah. You guys said it all. Nothing more to say. I think this is the definitive word on Friday the 13th Part 4.
Part 4.
We're not finished talking about Valentine yet, but I think we're
no. I'm gonna. I can't let it go.
Well, we have a Friday the 13th and Valentine's Day like right next to each other in February. So this is
can't let it go.
Oh Jesus. Okay, so with that, I want to thank you both for joining me on this conversation in horror, in which we discussed Friday 13th, the final chapter. For everyone here listening to the podcast, what we love to do at the end of the show is we like to rate the film. Now, we rate the film between 1 and 5, 1 being poor, 5 being amazing. But what we like to do is take an object from the film, a quote or saying, to attribute to our rating. With that in mind, Mr. Conkle, I'm going to you first. What would you like to rate this movie, and what object, quote, or saying would you attribute to it?
All right. Well, I'm gonna give it 4.5 spazzy dances.
Okay. What about you, Dave?
I'm going to give it 4 dead fucks.
Yeah.
Spazzy dance. That's an awesome scene, though.
I'm gonna give it 4 too, but I'm gonna give it 4 bodies thrown from windows by Jason. So hey,
broken windows would be a good one too. Yeah,
I had to see broken windows. Yeah, I would have had the body count more by having him throw four bodies through windows.
Right.
I still think, despite my misgivings with the geography and the logic behind how Jason can morph from one place to another, I still highly enjoy this film. It's entertaining as fuck. It's always the one I recommend to people who ask me which ones of this franchise I like, which ones I enjoy. It's always going to be this one and Part 6 are 2 of my favorites.
Absolutely.
And so I gotta give it a high marks for that. With that, I want to thank everyone for joining us on this Conversations in Horror episode, this glorious Friday the 13th. We hope that you have enjoyed us talking about Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Please make sure to check out our previous episodes on the Friday the 13th franchise. If you enjoyed this conversation, you're going to enjoy listening to us talk about those. With that in mind, please make sure to like, follow, share, subscribe. Do that thing you do on your favorite podcast, on your favorite podcast app, Spotify, and YouTube. And please make sure to check out our sister podcast, Conversations in Hammer Studio Horror, which delves deep into comic books, manga, and graphic novels. From all of us here at Something Wicked Entertainment, have a pleasant Friday the 13th. And be on the lookout for those masked killers with giant knives.
Don't go in the woods.
Conversations in Horror is a Broken Lighthouse Pictures production, written, produced, and directed by Kevin L. Powers, executive producer Kelly A. Inoka. All contents and material from this episode of Conversations in Horror is copyright 2025 Broken Lighthouse Pictures.